evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of East Hampton Architectural Review Board meeting. What's today?
January
14th of February. We have the minutes, and I'm still looking at this differently. The minutes that I'm looking at are January 24th. They've been adjusted to put Edwin as not present, but he is still a carryover and a holdover on the board, so I made mention. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at these minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Someone like to make a motion?
You make a motion, you accept the minutes.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay. We're going to take one item out of order. A change to commercial for South Fork Country Club, tax map number 300-150-03-05, 7.1, 7.3, 7.4, and 8. Anybody here for the applicant? Please come forward.
Brittany, did you get that?
Although you need no introduction, introduce yourself anyway.
Yeah. Alex Walter, I'm the Vice President of South Fork Country Club. And Michael Desario. Michael Desario.
That's good. And we're honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to
Peter?
be here.
This is an application to make some modifications to the clubhouse. It includes, you want me to read through all of the pieces? All right. Most of it is to match the existing, remove the existing divided lights at the front door glazing and replace with an upper sash and a new sash. That's on the west elevation. Shingles at the peak, right, to be replaced, color to match the existing. East elevation, shingles, right, new door panels at the entrance, glazing with a country club logo. I'd like to see what the logo is.
That's the logo. The black area is going to be etched.
Etched glass, actually, the black is frosted, the white is clear, and the duck is etched. And it's half panel.
It's great.
Very nice. On the north elevation, remove the existing divided lights from the door glazing, replace the existing upper sash and new sash at the windows. And the south elevation, replace the existing upper sash with new sash. Is there anything else you're doing?
I just brought a sample of the door material, the new door material, if that is of interest to you. It's mahogany.
Stained, is that stained?
Stand.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
Yeah, the old door was an oak door, I believe.
yeah.
What about the amount of light that's actually emitted from those windows? Did you have any trouble with that?
Well, right now, when I was there aren't any lights on.
Okay.
The place is essentially closed. The front door is plywooded over. Right. This is a photograph.
Are they adding any new windows or just replacing in
No.
kind? Yeah.
No, there were 9 over ones, and now there are 4 over
Right,
ones.
yeah, which are fine.
My recollection is that on the, you'd previously come in and the deck on the south-facing side, you were going to enclose, all right? That has not happened.
Well, yeah, actually, that's a storage area that's on the corner of the south-facing deck.
Right.
And we had gone to the planning board for site plan for that and gotten approval for that. And that, you know, the exterior is the same exterior as the rest of the building.
All right. I guess it's the north-facing deck, all right, that I thought this area was going to be enclosed.
No, originally that was a plan that we had.
Right.
But we've abandoned that, and there's no additional, we haven't closed anything in. It's basically,
Okay.
Just left it as
everything
is.
we're doing is
You're
interior.
not, you're
Wasn't
not
it some
doing.
type
Right.
of plastic covering?
Yeah, there was an awning.
Right,
Right.
There was an awning and you were going
Right.
to enclose
Enclose
it
it every day.
permanently, but
And
that's
you
been
got,
abandoned.
right,
That's
and
been
they got
abandoned.
approval for it, but you're not doing it?
We're not doing
Okay.
it.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this application as submitted.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Moving right along.
It's great to see you. Peter, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Might as well take the piece of wood, put that in the file too. I got it. On Historic District and Landmarks on an ag overlay for Daniel and Brooke Nidek, tax map number 300-200-3-41.5. Greetings, Katie, just introduce yourself if you
Good
would for the
evening.
record.
Kitty McCoy, architect here on behalf of 77, the application for 77 Beach Lane.
Great, let me read it into the record first. Okay. This is coming apart. Okay, this is an application for a new pergola with a brick patio below. I've been out to the property numerous times. This is the addition of the pergola, and I'll pass this around so that you see the background of the project, and they're working on it.
The pergola in the structure is actually a mock-up that was done.
Correct.
It's not, we didn't start construction of the pergola prior to permitting.
This is at 77 Beach Lane. It is right on the road itself. It's a reconstruction of a wonderful house. What's the date on it?
I think it's actually in the 20s, teens or 20s.
That's great. And everything from the interior standpoint remains the same, and the changes that are outside have really replicated what was there before anyway. So what else can you tell me about it?
The pergola is at the south end of the building. It will be made of clear cedar and left natural to weather, like the shingles. The brick is flush with grade. It matches, it will match the brick and the chimney.
How come you decided to add that, just out of curiosity?
They used to have an awning there on that end of the
That's interesting.
building.
I don't recall.
And they use that, they're accustomed to using that space, and they wanted to make it a little larger. And the awning didn't quite do the trick, and they have an awning at one of their other residences.
Fine, I was
and-
just curious. Not a problem. Any questions on the pictures? I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rachel, excuse me, do you have a copy of a survey that has the date and the stamp? I just want to make sure we can reference the survey. It's like maybe a screenshot. I just want to make sure we have it for the file.
Got it.
That's fine. Yeah. mine is- Yeah, I just want to make sure we can say the proposed location is on the survey.
Diana, would you grab those and just toss them, just so that, that's it.
Do you mind this cut off? Thank you.
Thank you. For Christian Nagel, care of Due East Planning, tax map number 300-200-2-25. You made it.
I
did.
Just introduce yourself for the record.
Katie Osiki from East End
Great,
Lakeland.
thanks, Katie. All right, this is an application for 118 Wainscott, Maine. You're replacing 3 brick stoops, decks with teak decking, removing a ramp and adding a teak decking, removing a brick patio in the center of the lawn, removing a brick walkway in the front of the house, changing 4 windows to 2 French doors on the main house, removing a window on the barn garage and adding 2 French doors, replacing a rotting door on the garage barn, removing the lattice on the front stoop, replacing the lattice shower with teak wood slates, replacing in-kind the siding and roofing in the garage barn, and adding 2 skylights in the garage barn, and it looks great.
That was actually the original
Right.
application, yes.
Let's do the next one.
So here's the modification.
Okay, so previously approved was the 1 teak deck totaling 830 square feet of the house that wrapped around the back side of the house. What was built were 2 decks, one of 272 square feet and the other 290 square feet, as shown in these pictures below, and actually on the survey. So I'll pass it around. I just want to read the rest of it. Previously approved was 1 teak deck totaling 315 square feet off the garage. What was built was 1 teak deck, 270 square feet, and the bluestone is on a raised patio. There's 72 square feet, and a bluestone stoop. This is getting tricky. That is 16 square feet, as shown in the pictures below and on the survey. And that's these 3 pictures that are down here. And when I pass it around, you'll be able to reference that. Okay. And previously approved was 2 French doors in the garage. And what was built was only 1 door, as pictured below. What else?
They're adding some lighting.
Okay, well, you've got the skylights also, you're not picturing those. Okay, this is the lighting that's been proposed.
How many?
There.
And these lights we're just
for
talking
record.
about on the back or wherever it faces the ag?
Yeah,
or
they're
over
right
there?
at all these circles right here. So when you enter the property, 1, 2, 3, 4, just where basically
Right,
where the
and
doors are.
where's the ag overlay?
That side. And it's
This
actually
side.
not in the ag overlay, it's just adjacent to it.
Okay. So really, just a couple of these would face that
Yeah.
area?
Yep, and nothing by the shower on this, where the shower did too, I don't know.
This is as the project looks today.
So this goes away?
This is going away, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
The one that's facing
Right.
out?
These are current photographs taken this week that will match to what they've got there. Anything else to add to it?
If you guys approve it, is there any way, since it's not changing, and could you consider it for CO?
Certainly, why not?
That's fine with me. We would have to figure out the fees.
I handed that in.
You did for a CO?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a change to something we already?
Yes,
so
we've
it's
already
a
gone through, I've been out
modification
there
and- okay.
3 or 4 times. Nothing else has changed on the survey. No other specifications have changed. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented. We have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
And then I'd like to request that a certificate of occupancy be issued by the building department. Do we have a second on this?
I'm sorry, what?
I'd like to suggest that the building department consider this for a certificate of occupancy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, you're done on that. Next case, let's get that done too. Okay.
I'm also for 55 Town Line,
Okay. Oh,
if, I know that Brian was in touch with you.
yes, how interesting. Wait 1 second, let me just find this line.
He's in Greenport.
Oh, that's great. Oops, I may have given you my, check this out. All right, this is for 55 Town Line Development, care of KLH Building Corporation at 55 Town Line Road, tax map number 300-199-1-1.5. it's fortuitous that you brought that up, because, yes, I did talk to Brian about this, because we're still trying to figure out why we have it on the ARB agenda. Maybe you can enlighten us.
We're not quite sure either. I think it was just routed there, because we didn't have an application in or a fee. But if you guys want to discuss it, we can certainly do that, or we can push it to the next meeting when we submit a form.
It looks great. There's absolutely no reason, it's in front of planning, has been in front of planning. These are photographs of the house itself.
Is it a new house?
No,
So what did,
it has nothing to do with it. I'm just sharing it with you.
beautiful.
There's nothing to cover with it. Okay, the only thing that I have is an updated survey on that. So I'm going to suggest, Jameson, that this be removed from the agenda, because I can find no reason whatsoever it should be on the ARB agenda.
Okay, that works.
Do we need to have a motion on that?
No,
So we'll just
but
put that in
if
the file.
you find
What-
out that you needed ARB approval,
It
come back to
was
it.
in the wrong pile.
I mean, we didn't submit anything, so I don't,
I still went out,
Recall.
I still went out, I did the site inspection, and I talked with the attorney who is representing the family who owns the house. He couldn't come up with a conceivable reason that it was presented to ARB either, but just to cover it, Katie has brought it up, and that's great. And there's nothing to review on it, because there's nothing in front of us with an application.
Okay.
So I came for nothing.
Got it?
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have anything else?
signs, yes.
That's this one, 55.
The 468, sorry, commercial signs. Cheryl Foster.
Is that the Farrell Real Estate?
Yes.
All right, for JL Farrell Real Estate LLC, tax map number 300-145-5-25. Peter? A little out of order,
A little out of order.
just a little. Second on the business
There's an
side.
application for a sign.
Sign.
Okay,
A sign or signs?
A sign, one, just one.
just a sign, which seems to exceed the town code. 20 square feet,
It's one-sided.
Katie, come on.
one-sided, 20 square feet,
Commercial, I thought it was 32.
No,
No?
double-sided sign.
Oh,
double-sided,
sided signs for 32. Okay, I apologize.
I
If
was
we make it
wondering where you
smaller.
were coming from.
Do you have any comments if
Yeah,
they just shrink it?
I think there's too much writing on it anyway.
What
Too
is
much
this
writing.
for?
It is, well, it's actually,
Is it a commercial?
It's a
Yes.
commercial
Properties
or
building,
service commercial?
or
I'm sorry?
actually,
yes, service commercial.
commercial complex.
And where is this located? I'm not familiar with Cheryl.
Cheryl
Foster's
Foster's,
house.
well, actually,
Neither
we have
have
a
I. It
second
took me a
one.
while to find it.
What?
I have
You take Queen
Okay.
Lane at the end, right,
Which end?
At
Springs
the-
Fireplace or Acabonic?
Springs Fireplace.
here's
Near
the
the
dump.
dump,
There's the
right.
dump. It's right by
Okay,
the dump
okay.
there. So the, so we can, the idea for the location.
So is it a storage facility for them, or?
It's service commercial, so there's, they haven't been assigned for what,
Okay.
the actual, but that's the, what they got planning
Got
board.
it.
We tried to move the sign as far away as possible because there is residences over here. And we have a natural vegetated buffer in the front there, so it can't go in here. And there is a house right here, so if you look at it, these are photos of the area. Peter, I assume you were there.
Yeah, I
have
found
photos.
it.
There's a sign there right now.
So
we'll
there's
make it
no
small.
building there, but there will be.
Yes, there
There is
a
buildings.
Oh, there-
There's, yeah,
There's the
it's-
beginning of a building.
There's the shell right now.
The shell is there,
It is. It's a work in progress.
right. It's too big,
We'll make it smaller. In terms of writing, I mean, it has the address.
yeah.
You want less
I'm not-
words?
I'm not
At
sure you
20
need all
square
that
feet.
information.
You know, I just have,
Smaller.
I don't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt, but I just
that's
have a
fine.
question. Is this a one-way road, or people go in and out both ways?
For the
This
Cheryl's
road that
Foster,
it's on, yeah.
that's two ways. Or
So
where the,
why wouldn't you do a double-sided sign?
Well, oh, on that side, no. It'll be one-sided on the far, because it's gonna be
It's somewhat of a dead end.
here. Yeah, it's a dead end.
Oh, I
Here.
see.
And
So it's not
the
gonna
main
be
end, yeah,
there, okay.
Exactly. That's just where they have building permit.
Right, okay.
Right.
Sorry, I was just trying to get my.
The height of it, Peter, was 5?
Stainless steel?
No, the height,
57 inch.
57.
Yeah.
Okay, it's stainless steel. It's beautiful. We're going to save you a lot of money so that you only
You
do
need this much
20 square
smaller.
feet on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no lighting.
No lighting, okay.
No, there is lighting.
There
There's
is.
lighting on the
Underneath.
top,
Yeah.
underneath
Underneath.
there.
Right.
But there's no other lighting other than the strip that you're
No.
putting up.
Nope.
Okay, well, it's going to have to come into compliance as to the size.
Size, yep, okay.
So you'll come back, we'll table it.
Yeah, why don't you talk with your client regarding all that writing? Nobody's going to see that.
It's gonna be, yes, it will be small.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, save some money. Anything else you have on this?
That's it.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Peter.
Sure. On a business sign for Nora Franzetti, tax map number 300-5-5-7. Anybody here for the applicant? Betsy?
Okay, this is a sign for a building on 50, it's actually on Flamingo, but she has it down, it's 57 Kirk. And it's next to the Four Oaks Deli in Montauk. And this is the site. Here's the Four Oaks Deli and the Goldberg sign. And then this is the building where the sign is going to be, and it's going to be right there. This is the graphic, and this is the placement. And it's a 20 square foot sign. I think it's fine. Anybody have any questions? You want to take a look?
I'd like to take a look at it.
Coming down.
It's going to be a jewelry and trading company. And it's a 4x5, 20 square foot sign. Do you want to see?
Is it on a post or?
No,
No,
it's on the wall.
building.
It's on the wall.
So here's the building. This is Flamingo. There's a side entrance, and the sign will be right there. Take a look. You want me to mark an X on there? X marks the spot.
Just on the side of the building.
Well, it's actually front facing the street,
Yeah, right.
similar to the Goldberg sign.
I mean, with the,
I have a question on the
materials
lighting.
are PVC as a substrate.
While you're thinking, I just want to mention to you, they're requesting 3 lights.
Oh, I
Why?
just saw that because it wasn't shown in the photograph, right.
Are there any lights?
Well, let's.
Well, yeah, they're requesting 3, and I
Let's
can't
talk about
imagine
whatever
why.
issues you have before we go into the lights.
Well, I don't quite know what, it says 4 feet by 6 feet.
5 feet.
I'm sorry, 4 feet by 5 feet. Now, is it a square? I mean,
Well, there's a picture right there of it on the board, on the building that they semi-imposed, not that I took, what they submitted with the application.
ah,
Well, I don't know if that's in scale to the building, but it's not a very big building. Listen, I thought
It
also
looks like a
too,
tiny little building.
it's not tiny, but I also thought that it was big, but it is within, it's 20 square feet. It's up to them if they wanted 20 square feet.
Right.
Sign, if the applicant was here, I was gonna ask her if she wanted to reduce it somewhat, but since she's not here, then the other thing is that I just noticed, and Richard pointed out, that they're asking for 3 lights placed above it. Now, I don't know, are those goosenecks or are those, so I think we might need to table this.
I agree with that totally.
Okay, let's table this until the applicant can come before us to discuss
And
the
bring the
lighting,
lights.
and then at that time, we can discuss the size of the sign.
Yeah, I'm going to make a recommendation that they reduce it to 1 light anyway.
Right.
And they can
Or-
bring in a sample tear sheet on the lighting they're going to
Right.
use.
Do you think that this is what's supposed to represent the lights here?
Could be.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna table this for further review, correct?
Yes. This goes in Franzetti. And this is the previous one. Take your time. For Cell Rose, care of Britton Bistrian, tax map number 300-50-1-11.
Hi, good evening, Chairman Myers, members of the board. Hi. Hi,
Just introduce yourself for the record.
Britton Bistrian, representing 4 South Elmwood LLC.
Great, that's it.
Okay, Cell Rose, 45 Elmwood is going to be a new restaurant at the old Zoom Schneider location. And this is a rendering of the new facade that they're planning, and we'll talk about that next. But they're planning on doing, I thought we approved this.
There was some confusion. I foiled the records and I could not find an application that you had reviewed it or approved it, so
Okay, all right.
covering my bases.
So it's a script lettering. Why don't I pass it around so you can see it? And it's going to go on top of a trellis with, I would imagine, roses. And it is, I have my 1.3 by something square,
It's 7.8 square feet.
right, but the size is 1.3, I think, in height, and what was the width? My paperwork is over there.
It's 1.3 by 5,
Something like
6
it.
and
Yeah,
3/8.
so it's, yeah. And what is the material? I'm just curious.
quarter-inch cut satin bronze.
Oh, beautiful, great, okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the sign for Cell Rose,
And it's unlighted, just
unlighted.
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 Great, we have a second?
Unlit,
Thank you.
Unlighted.
unlit.
All in favor?
Now, Cell Rose, R-R-O-S-E?
Yes, is the correct
Correct.
spelling.
Right.
It's the name of a sister restaurant in the city.
Ah,
And Cell being salt?
It's a stage name for some sort of vaudeville. There's a connection.
Okay. Moving right along. We have a second,
It's
all in favor?
1.3 by
Aye.
5.638,
Okay.
approved.
So while we have you here, let's do a change to commercial on that. Okay. And again, this is tax map number 300-50-1-11. That's it.
So Britain was before us, was it last meeting?
No, it was
2
about
weeks.
two-
Two
a month
meetings,
ago.
Yeah. About some, you know what, let me hold on to that for 1 second, if you don't mind, because I like that one photograph. With some exterior changes, windows, let me read into the record what they're planning to do.
which one are we looking at now?
This is the same building.
Same property.
So now it's changed to commercial. It was in front of us. We reviewed a lot of the changes, but there was some conversation about the survey with regards to a stone patio that they want to change to brick, and,
Before you do that, we've had some comments that people don't understand what we're doing. So perhaps in this case, we read from the application what they're applying for and then how this has evolved to that point. You have the application there also?
well, I have a paper here because the application was included in my packet.
That's what I figured.
Okay,
You
so,
have the application with you. Thank you so much.
has it changed from what the letter is dated
No,
February 6th?
this is the original filing in January. That's the
Would you read
revised
that into
filing
the
from
record,
February.
please?
Okay, so this is for Cell Rose, which is for South Elmwood and Montauk, and the changes to the exterior are new white windows and doors, new rose entrance trellis, replace stone patio with brick, repairs and landscaping per mock-ups, and there's also new white siding.
Great, perfect. Thank you very much. Can we keep this until tomorrow and make a copy of it?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
So we had the discussion, if I could just jump in, we had the discussion about the patio. We've since removed that from the scope. the ARB approval that I could find that the board referenced where I wasn't representing them last summer was actually for painting white. So I've removed that from this approval as well because the standing approval.
Because you already have
is
it.
already approved.
Right, okay.
So it's been reduced to the windows on the west facade and the south facade, as well as the entrance vestibule becoming that trellis.
Right, so, okay, so, we are only then talking about that.
And removing all the non-compliant lighting and installing dark sky fixtures.
Okay,
And we have
And you have cuts on all of that.
okay. So. This is a photograph of what is there currently, right? The windows that you currently have, the garage doors, and this is the photograph of what they're proposing. So what's changing is these shorter windows are going to become more more of like a floor-to-ceiling, but not completely. These stay, right? And then this is on the south side, the windows go from, they also become elongated, correct?
That's in the parking lot.
No, it's on the other side.
Oceanside of it. The idea was they're trying to soften, it looks like it's a building plopped down in the middle parking lot. They're trying to do landscaping and roses and soften the exterior. I mean, it is a building plopped in the middle of the parking lot.
So what we're looking for is for
Spade is spade.
approval on the elongated windows on the west side, and then also to carry those forward on the south side. Is that it?
The vestibule, converting this vestibule from this sort of
Right.
heavy element
This
to a
completion,
lighter
right,
trellis
right,
in the same
trellis, right.
footprint.
And then the lighting. Is this the same type of lighting? But this was over the sign, and now you're not doing it over the sign, correct? That goes away?
That was not over the sign, that was, the sign was never proposed to be lit. It's over these, the garage doors, remember we talked about the garage doors last time?
Right, right.
They do open. I
Yes, I
double-checked
know,
that.
I looked.
I was like,
How
I
do
think
they,
they
how
open.
do they open?
It's a big, heavy chain.
They're a garage, they roll up
They
garage
do,
doors.
that's
With a
great.
chain on the
Yeah.
inside.
That's great.
Somebody's got to be mighty strong to get those things going.
They're
But
steel, I mean, they're steel.
I'm just, and I asked you about the length of this, and you said it's on the spec sheet, but I don't really see where that is. So could you tell me how far out that extends?
The maximum distance is 48 inches. So it wouldn't be that far out, because the.
48 inches is over 3
4
It
feet.
it probably, it's gonna come out just projection enough to give a little depth to the facade, I would say, not to exceed.
Do you know what the
30
wattage or
inches.
the Kelvin is on it?
Well, right now, they have goosenecks here, so
30
why
watts.
are they looking to extend these out 4 feet from the building if this isn't going to be a patio?
So
And
those-
even if it is, I got a concern about them being that.
We're not in the right location. Those are,
You said over the garage doors.
so this is the facade we're talking about.
Right, the
These are
garage
the
doors.
existing,
Right.
these are the existing fixtures remain, I misspoke. And the new lighting is, this isn't accurate,
So what I'm reading is you're going to do outdoor dining there.
here.
What's here?
That's the trellis.
Well, that's what I said. I thought you said it was over the sign, and then you said, no, there's no lighting on the sign. Because my recollection was that fixture, you said was going to come over the sign on the front facade.
And that's what it shows,
So they're keeping the goosenecks that are currently there.
because they're
you-
compliant.
Right, and you can see them here.
And swapping out this fixture on the front, so, excuse me for that.
Yeah, you've got 5 goosenecks there, and you've got some goosenecks along the side here. I'm seriously concerned about that light over that sign. I would not approve that.
Why would they come out 4 feet? It's a nice looking fixture.
I mean, why wouldn't they do something, like some downlighting that comes out underneath
Under
the
the soffit
soffit,
itself.
that maybe projects out, 6, 8 inches?
I think we were trying to improve upon these sort of marine
Are
lights.
they taking those away?
Yep, those are gone. So let's remove that from the scope. I'll note up the plans.
So, just so we're clear, there's no lighting on the side.
No lighting on the side, we'll remove it.
And right now, we're going to, there's the lights that are currently there, you have them here, right? Existing sconces beyond, to
To
replace with,
Because these aren't dark sky. They're, you have a cut, I have it here too as well. They're can fixtures.
does anybody have, Peter, you have it.
I need them for egress from the door.
Yeah, these are great.
But they're behind the trellis.
Right, okay.
They're on the front facade.
Okay. So do you want to include those in this application?
I do, at every door.
It's a requirement by the.
Right, okay.
I mean, and the existing lights don't meet code.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the
Side.
application. Because this doesn't, this is just the letter discussing, okay, so we are approving new white windows, doors, and siding. We're approving the new rose entrance trellis.
No siding.
You want to take that off the application?
Well, that's the original, and my letter is what I'm seeking approval for. That's the January, that's February.
What's the date stamp on
February 6th.
So the 3 items listed on that is what I'm seeking approval for.
Yeah, but it says removal of exterior change from gravel to brick. What does that mean?
Nec-
Removal off of the
Nope.
application?
The next list of 3, the second tier. Those were the
that? So
items, the
this is
3
a
items.
modification, or this is part of?
But we
of
didn't
the
approve
exi-
anything.
You didn't approve
Yeah,
anything.
So
I'd
this
like
is
to
part
go
of the,
back. I'd
I
like
just-
to go back to the original application.
okay. You need to be able to put these 2 pieces together.
But we didn't approve anything to have this be a modification.
Correct. That's why we needed to be able to be on, we need the application to read correctly. You're on the
So
right
do you want
track.
to take the siding off of that?
And just put your initials on it.
Thank you.
And the patio?
Yeah.
Is there anything else on this letter that's not on the application? Just so,
Well,
I don't
the
believe it
lights.
says dark sky compliant
Right,
lights.
right.
Oh, I didn't date it.
All right, so I just have a question. With regards to the existing gooseneck lights that are on the north-facing side, above the garage and these other windows, they're existing. Are they changing? So they're not part of the lighting of the new application. It's just the lighting at the doors, and we have a cut sheet on that. Okay.
And these extended lights?
That goes away.
Just removed,
Okay.
and
So,
initials.
can you just put dark sky compliant lighting at doorways? I think that would shore it up for us.
that's good.
I'm
wanna
writing
take this?
doorways except garage doors.
Right. Well, right,
I don't want to get confused.
right. Okay, and you can have that back, because I don't want to have it in the file if it's not happening. It just gets more confusing.
That's a 2-page, the downlights.
What was it behind it? Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Greg. You want to hold on to this and get
I
her?
do. We owe this to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Make a note, so that we have a copy of this, and put that in the file as well, and return that to Rick.
Okay, and then
Will
this
you be in
is,
the office tomorrow?
Sure.
this is the sign that I wanted to hold on to, because I didn't know if that picture was in there.
Okay, sure, I want to go back to the sign
Please do.
afterwards.
Afterward?
Yeah, when you finish with this.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as presented for, and I'm going to reread it. Where did it go?
Brittany has it.
Need it back.
Thank you.
Just for the record, so when we're reviewing the tape, we have it. I'm making a motion to approve new white doors and windows, new rose entrance trellis, and and landscaping, which we haven't seen, so,
It's on the plans.
on the plans, okay, landscaping as per plans, and dark sky compliant lighting at doorways
We have a
except
second?
garage doors. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And just before you leave, I'd like to reopen the sign for tax map number 300-50-1-11 to remove any of the lighting that we had originally suggested on that. Is that correct? There will be no lighting on the sign whatsoever.
Correct, and that's in keeping
Okay.
with the application.
Fine. So would you like to make a motion to bring that to the floor again?
But we never approved a sign for when we approved, we never approved a light when we approved the sign.
Correct, but I want to make sure that the wording is correct and that it's on the record. So there'll be a motion that the sign has been approved without lighting.
I'd like to make a motion that the sign is approved without lighting.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anything else
Thank you.
tonight?
And hold on, anything else tonight?
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks.
Jameson, you're okay with all of that?
We're good.
On changes to commercial for Atlantic Terrace, care of Dewey's Planning, tax map number 300-49-6-26. Greetings.
Hi, Susan Brierly from Dewey's Planning.
Thank you, Susan.
Hi, Stephanie Hopkins for Ocean View
Stephanie.
Terrace LLC.
You coming up and joining us? You're not joining us tonight. Betsy.
She will join us later.
Before we jump in, I'd like to review the application for Ocean View Terrace Hotel Resort at 21 Ocean View Terrace in Montauk. This is an application for exterior changes. That would include to change the cladding throughout from painted stucco to cedar wood shingle, replace front facade with glass doors and slider, replace the existing solid doors with new doors, painted wood, replace all railings on property, replace pool fencing. I just have a question, replace existing solid doors with new doors painted wood. Is that, we're talking about the west
They're now
side?
steel doors?
They're all steel now, and is that a
They're
fake?
fiberglass doors, yeah.
Fiberglass, and is that finish, factory finish, where it's baked on, it's not that you're painting those?
We are gonna paint them on site, I believe, yeah. We are gonna paint them. It's not a factory finish, because we're gonna have one color on one side and the interior colors.
To match the others?
Could you-
or-
Yes, it's
To match the existing,
Could you just cross out this misspelled word, painted
Yes.
wood, and do painted fiberglass?
Initial date.
Okay, so, just for the record, this has been before us for the last couple meetings because the original plans, which I don't have in my file, but there
We
is
have
a
here,
monster file, where we were concerned about the amount of light emitting from the frontage of the 96 units where there were two door-window units, and now they're asking for a two-window sized floor-to-ceiling and the door. So basically, 3 across as opposed to 2. We've been going back and forth, trying to figure out a way of eliminating the problem. At first, it was they announced that all of the glass is going to be tinted, and they recommended on the south-facing units to have a 3M film that would further reduce some of the light emitting. There are 4 buildings in question, and each building has either a east-west side or a south-north side. Some even have all 4. And the new plans that were submitted were to take some of the doors that were proposed to be glass and make them into these painted fiberglass doors. And when Peter and I were looking over the plans, I had called Susan and I asked her why I didn't have all the elevations for each unit, so that we could see in scope how many actual doors are going to be replaced with the painted fiberglass door. So because I wasn't available to review this early on and ask for that, so it could be presented at the meeting, which I think would be really important, I decided to take the time and on the elevations that were submitted to pencil in so that I could get a visual and present to the board a visual of what it would look from elevation to elevation. When Peter and I reviewed this, we were going through it thinking we had all the elevations here, and we figured if there's 96 units and each unit has 3 window scapes, that there's approximately 288, glass windows or doors. And based on us quickly counting, we came up with a total of 70 new switch-out doors from the glass to this painted fiberglass. However, and that would give us about a 30% decrease in light. However, when I started doing this, I'm sitting here, and I wasn't happy that I had to do this, and that this wasn't presented to us in a different way. But I'm penciling these in, and then I'm penciling this, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same thing. So I've got a west elevation of the main building, Ocean Terrace building. So it's a duplication, and I'm not feeling that when I look at this, and I am sorry, but this has not been presented properly. When I look at all these buildings and the different elevations, there should be 9 elevations, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't even know if all of the elevations are here, and it's really hard to figure out what is what. So I would like to open this to the board and to you and tell me how we're going to get from point A to B, because what I'm feeling just before we do that is that all along we've been at the 10-yard line. And you've come to me now with not even 30%. You've come to me with about, what I can tell, because I can't really count them all, about 20, 25%. So I'm at the 35, 40-yard line. And I'm really just not feeling we're getting everything. I think that, this was a good idea. I think that the top windows are the ones that emit most light, and in most of these elevations, it's just the bottom first-story ones that are there. I understand you want ocean views, but these don't get ocean views. And then with regards to the south-facing building, of course, we understand that it's an ocean view. It's what people are going to pay to go in, that they want to have it open, that people are not looking at, where these are more open to the courtyard, that you were going to change the railing from a cable railing to the wood slat, which is a 2-inch wood slat with a 3-inch opening. And in speaking with Peter, he didn't have a problem with that, but I felt, well, why couldn't it be a 2x2? So what this looks like is not really represented by, where's my color thing? If you look at this, which is a picture, is this an actual 3-inch opening? Or is that an actual 2-inch slat?
That's just a reference picture, Betsy.
Right, I know. So I just feel that this is such a big project, and that there's so many questions that unless I think we have actual 1-by-1 elevations per building that we could look at, as well as actual photographs or renderings of what the railings are going to be on the south facing, which is the most visible from the ocean and the beach, that I'm reluctant to try to move this forward.
First of all, I want to thank you for your due diligence on this, and Peter, thank you for your help on it as well. I'm very grateful. Susan, this has been like pulling teeth.
This is frustrating. These elevations are standard architectural format.
We understand.
But I don't have them all.
You're missing one. You pointed it out to me on the phone. I called Stephanie. She had actually just realized it that day in working with her design team. I have replacement plans that show the last missing elevation, but they are all here, with the exception of that one. So you're not missing a huge
Well, then
percentage.
why, can you
So
explain to
the
me why these
purpose-
are
okay,
duplications?
Yes, the purpose of this, we talked about this on the phone, Lindsay. The
purpose of this, the
We need to
only,
know.
yes, the difference is that this is cut through the center of the site. This is cut closer to the building so that you can see the full reveal of this elevation. Here, it's cut off from a different perspective. It may be overkill to provide both of these to you, but that's what the designers chose to do. This is what you need to look at. This just shows you how it's cut off, and this is sunken below grade. That's the only
That I can
difference.
see. Which is missing?
Well, do you want to go
It
through
is
one
the
by
north
one?
elevation. It's this elevation. It's the north elevation of the Dean East building, which we have the designers.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to go through each building and
Start
you
with
show to me.
elevation 1. And let's label
Okay.
these as we go through this.
Okay. So let's start from the Ocean Terrace building, which has a west and an east facing units, correct? There's no units on the north and the south on that building?
Yeah, there's.
This is the Ocean Terrace building. Nothing is changing on this except for the siding and these doors. And they're in place in kind, not this part, this part. This is what is closest to the ocean. This is the Ocean Terrace building. This is the main building and it's set back
What do you
quite
mean
far.
closest to the ocean?
Okay,
South facing?
it's this here. This part.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, I got
Alright,
switched
yeah.
around. Okay.
So, all right. So if you block this out, this is what you're seeing. That's that building.
Right, okay,
And
got
it's
it.
just
Is it
this
labeled?
elevation. Yes, it is. And it's just these doors.
Right,
And they're
okay.
all in kind
All
in
right,
place
and so,
replacements.
on this page, is this the only page, the only elevations that show the Ocean Terrace building?
Yes.
Okay, so where is the elevation for the east facing?
East.
Is it here? No,
This
that's
is the
due
north
east.
elevation. You're looking, let me.
Yeah, the Ocean Terrace.
This is the east one? No, that's not.
Oh, that's the Denny's one.
Do you understand what the problem is?
Yeah, I
Well,
understand. but-
it's large and it's complex, I
I know,
understand that.
but
So
I
this
don't
is the eastern
understand why
elevation.
they don't have one building with all the elevations on one page so that we can understand what that building looks like versus flipping through all of this. And it's just crazy, you know? And then what we're not seeing is we're not seeing, you know, the visual of what this is gonna look like with the darker doors per building. Am I being unrealistic?
No, not at all. Part of the problem is that you haven't given us a storyboard so that we can visually understand what you're doing with all of these units. There are so many units that are facing the ocean that we're overly concerned with the amount of light being
Well, I
emitted from
understand
it.
that, Richard. There are actually not a whole lot of units facing the ocean. There's very few units facing the ocean. All of these units face interior.
Okay, Susan, let me just ask you a question. You know, you guys are under the gun with time.
Yes, we are.
Okay? We've been really trying to help you and move you along because we're considerate of that situation. But for you to waste 2 weeks of time to just give me pictures like this where I have 3 elevations, you know, it's like, why wasn't it done completely? And that I've got to go through to help the board understand what this is going to look like with a pencil for 20 minutes. Like, I just feel that you're not really, not you personally, but the organization, do they watch these films? Do they watch
here
what's
with me
going
this
in?
evening.
Well, then why
So
aren't
they're
they
listening to
willing?
you.
Well, why aren't they willing to come to us with a full set of plans that we could understand? Instead of flipping through and one elevation for one building is on one and the other's on the other?
I understand your frustration, Betsy, and I understand that maybe these plans aren't reading well to you, but they are standard architectural format. They're coming from an architectural firm.
Fine, Susan, we
And
understand
this
that.
is a graphic representation of what the project as a whole will look like.
But you
when it's
understand-
done.
But
I
we're
understand
looking,
what
but
you're
we're
saying.
looking at it from an aesthetic standpoint. This helps us understand it, okay? So, you know, for us to be flipping back with all these, the papers and all these different elevations where they really don't tell a story, I think it's kind of unfair to the board. I really do. And, you know, as much as I want to help you guys move along, and I appreciate that you went through the idea of changing out some of the doors, but you refused to do it on any of the top elevations.
I wouldn't say refused. I think refused
Well,
is a
you have
strong word.
one
We
there.
haven't discussed
Okay.
it. This is the first time you've seen the solid doors on these elevations.
Well, how do you feel about the solid doors? I actually think they look nice, and I would actually recommend that you do them on the second
Well,
story.
there's different reasons for it, and I'm sure Stephanie can address it, but on the lower level, you actually enter into the units from the courtyard.
Yeah,
On the
so-
upper level, you enter from the backside.
Yeah, so that's the patio up top that you're seeing, and
So
you
these-
actually enter the unit from the other side. So those solid doors that you're seeing are entrances where you come in through the bottom from the patio.
Right, I
So the
understand.
reason-
So, but somebody up here in that unit can access the balcony through a door, correct?
It's a sliding door.
Right. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to the board, because I just feel that, I'm swimming here.
Okay. Peter, you've had your eyes on this, you've got a feel for it. Where are we with this project?
I mean, aside from Betsy's concerns, which I believe are entirely legitimate, I mean, and I appreciate your comment that these are architectural drawings, but architects speak a different language,
I understand.
and that it would behoove you to present what you're proposing to do, not in architectural language, but in a language that the board can understand.
Let me
So
take that.
using architecture as, well, these are legitimate architectural drawings, is not an excuse. You're attempting to get our approval for what it is that you're proposing to do, but you're speaking in a different language than what the board is capable or used to seeing.
I want to take it one step further. When you come back for your certificate of occupancy and we look at the original elevations and you present your final plans, I'm not 100% sure we're going to be able to read them. I'm a
That was-
bit concerned.
Right, that was my
What do you mean,
concern
read
also
them?
too. Well, my concern was how are we going to approve something, a scope like this where the elevations don't really speak to what we're approving?
It's a real problem. And that's where Betsy's been trying to take you, so that we have confirmation of what we're going to be seeing when we go out for the site inspector
So
for
you want to
CO.
see a colored rendered image of each facade of each
We've
building?
asked you that from the get-go.
No, actually, it hasn't been stated like
It-
that.
well-
You've
Well,
asked
wait,
me
no.
for this,
Excuse me.
actually, from the beginning, I
Actually,
think.
it was because I asked you from the get-go for some type of storyboards
Well,
to be able to present
Right,
this.
you did ask for storyboards, and what we were getting was this, and I thought that this was suffice, but to get 4 elevations when there's 9, I just don't think that it really tells a story.
I'm not sure what we're going to go out and approve based on these drawings. I'm really concerned, and that's what I mean by read.
Well,
What-
let me try to do this. Let's try to move on and try to give you some of the feedback that Peter and I were going to have until I started trying to make heads and tails out of the elevations and what this was going to actually look like so that we could, A, understand it from an aesthetic standpoint as well as a light emitting standpoint, and B, as also well to be able to approve it so you would get a resolution. On the south-facing Oceanside building of the Dune East building, what we wanted to know is with the new railings, which I would have liked to see them 2-inch by 2-inch, not 2-inch with 3-inch openings, are you also then planning to do the film with the tinted glass on that facade?
That is still there, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that's
that's
good.
good, that's good, okay. Would you consider closing up the spacing on those slats?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that would be great. On the north-facing Dune East building, what are the new doors and windows to be? Does anything change in size and shape, or will be a swap out? So this is the same building that faces the ocean, but the north side in the back.
So these doors actually right now
Have windows
have
in
a
them.
small little window here. So we're making these the fiberglass all the way through and then just replacing the windows.
Okay, so all of the doors
Our
on this
existing,
north
being
face,
replaced in kind.
right, will be the painted solid doors.
Correct.
So there's no glass doors except for the little glass windows.
Correct.
Okay. I think that's okay.
It's great.
Okay. The new Night Horizon dark gray metal doors, will all the trim on the tinted glass doors and the windows be the same color, or is it going to be a different shade of this gray?
It'll all be the same color.
Same color?
Yep.
Okay. We talked about the amount of doors that I'm concerned, again, because unless this is more complete than the elevations that I had, I'm willing to say, if it is, and all of the elevations are here, I'm willing to take this back and look at it and do an evaluation of how many swap out doors you're doing so we could get an estimate of the actual percentage that we're reducing the glass doors, okay? On the north-facing reception area, okay, the plans show for two large glass door picture windows. Right. However, let me just show you one thing. I'm swamped with this paperwork. Okay. Peter and I took a look at this, and my photographs, the sliding glass doors face west, correct? This is the corner of this, because if you look at my photographs, here's the balcony, here's this railing, which you're changing, and here's the balcony, correct?
yeah.
So where are those two windows gonna
So, yeah,
go?
they're
This
gonna
is
go
coming out.
there,
It's
yeah.
going in here. We're
That-
taking
it-
this out.
Yeah,
Is that
But
indicated?
isn't this,
Right here.
we're gonna add the siding.
oh,
there,
I see,
that's-
see,
yeah,
so this
we're
is the
totally
north
changing
face here.
that.
Okay,
That's
so
the
how do
elevation.
you get into the building?
The
Around the
other
side.
side,
This side?
On
No.
this side here, we're putting a door.
the
in
other
here.
side. Yeah, there's one door there, and then there's the other side, there's doors.
An existing door?
No, that's what we're proposing. Additional doors on that side where they face to the inside of the property.
Around this corner?
Correct.
Show me where on the elevator.
Here.
Facing
Where is the
interior.
door?
This is like a
And
nano
these
door.
are,
So
there's a
if
door here and
this
there's two sliders
faces
there.
the street, okay, so they're putting these two glass windows there, and then around the corner, there'll be how many doors? 4?
Yes, 5.
Is this the lobby or the restaurant?
This is
The lobby.
the lobby, the entranceway. And then what happens here on this side?
Just a door there. That,
Well, there's-
just an access. That existing.
Door,
Yeah.
okay. And what kind of door will that be?
It'll just be the same.
Could you show us
Solid
that
panel.
on the elevation?
So it'll be a solid painted night horizon door. So that's just sort of like a service door, correct? It's not for pedestrians or...
Here you have
Oh, sorry, we are changing it to French doors here.
a French door.
We need
Yeah.
to
They do?
be-
Yep, you're right.
How
we're changing it.
difficult it is for us
Because
to,
when, and it's not your fault that this is such a big complex, you know what I'm saying? But we have to be able to identify each and every change out of door and window, so then when it comes time for us to go and see if the as-built, you know, it's as-built to what we're proposing, we have to know what
we've approved.
what we're approving. And,
No, it's- I mean, so I guess, so-
okay, now that, but that was my question, because I didn't understand what was happening here. And why did you decide to put the entrance on the side when this faces the street and put square picture windows there? It just kind of was a
just,
disconnect for me.
we just felt like it was a better experience for people to enter in from that, I don't know if you have the survey, but to enter in kind of through the sidewalk to control their entrance and coming into the lobby, just a better aesthetic experience. So it was just from a design perspective point of view.
Okay. Let me just get back to where I was. Okay, so just to be clear, all the doors at the snack bar, all the doors and trim around the facade of all of the buildings are going to be night sky horizon, correct?
Yes.
The night horizon. There's not going to be any other color that you're using because,
Oh, we have clear cedar. We have the
no, I'm
same-
talking
No, no,
about, I'm
no.
talking
And the
about
night
horizon
horizon.
because this is this the color or is this the trim color, the bronze trim color?
That's the bronze trim color.
For windows and doors?
Correct,
Okay.
and we're gonna change, that color matches that. We haven't updated that.
The swatch,
We
the-
need to
no.
change
Now,
that.
this says this is for, the lead gray is for.
That was at the beginning of the application,
Yeah.
so we owe you a new color spec for that.
Okay, so what I would like is I would like to see the color for the doors, the color for the trim, and any other painted color within this realm so we could just have it for our records. It's not about approving, and I have no problem with gray, gray, gray. It's just that we need all that information to have it in our files. Okay. Then there was one elevation that we were very confused about. This,
I think it's
the bay windows.
Right.
Where is this and what's gonna happen to these bay windows? And what building is this?
This is the lower level
Of,
in the courtyard. It's right here.
what building is it?
This is
Main
the main
building.
building, the south end of the main building. And it's in the courtyard. So it's sort of below level, below the pool, below the dune.
So, let me just, wait, where am I? Where's my
What is it?
reference?
It's underneath your pictures right there.
It's right over
By
here.
your glasses.
Thank you. Okay,
So if
so,
you're in the courtyard, you're
here's the
looking this
ocean.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, so it faces the ocean.
But it's back quite a
But
bit.
you don't
Below the
see it,
dune.
right,
You
but
don't
it's
see it.
south
Yeah,
side,
yeah,
okay,
you don't
okay.
see it.
So it's on the main building south side, and what are you doing
So
with
we're
it?
replacing these with 3 sliders.
And then two.
And what,
slides.
are these
windows.
actual units?
No, that's community space, common space.
Okay,
Yeah, those aren't guest rooms. Is that what you're asking?
yeah.
No.
But there are on the second and the third floor, so.
Yeah. So
The
we're
base,
just.
the ground level is a community space.
Yeah.
Is this labeled?
Labeled
How
as
do
what?
we know what that is?
Because it could look like a unit.
Well, it's labeled as what the building is.
Yeah?
Oh, you want it underneath it? See?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
understand. So it says here, Dune East Building, Main Building, and Ocean Terrace Building. So they just need to separate them and
confusing.
do it.
That's where I was like,
Right.
you know, and
And this elevation should be labeled, so we can
Yeah,
tell.
no, I see what they did. I know why, I see why it's confusing, because they put it all together. That's the Dune
Tyler.
Building and that's the
Right.
main building. Yeah, I understand that.
okay, then the upside, if I can find it in my stuff, is you submitted a cut sheet on the lights. I thought they were very attractive, so maybe we can move forward on one thing. These.
Yeah, those are the overhead lights in
Now-
the patio areas.
On these elevations or anywhere, is there any way to understand where these lights are gonna go?
So each one of these is going in the patio areas above what would be the sliding doors, the individual unit patios. They're shown on these elevations here, okay?
Okay.
Recessed. And then this
So they're
is-
recessed
Yeah.
and underneath the soffit, right?
Yes, they're under
Okay.
a soffit. These are for pedestrian doors, but are these,
These are
there's an
only.
issue with the wiring or something?
These go here, here,
Right.
here, here.
Each pedestrian door.
Yeah.
Okay, where there's not an overhang.
Correct.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, does anybody have a problem with the?
Neither.
So Chairman, how do we do this?
I'd like to take a 5-minute timeout. Sabine, if you just turn off the cameras for a minute. Betsy?
So, how would you like to help us move this forward?
I mean, we would like to present it in a way, I mean, and I guess what we would like to take away from this is exactly, like, if you want it broken down, A, B, C, D elevation on one page with a rendering that shows that, and that's what you want to see on there. We want to know exactly what you want to see, so we can make sure.
And that each elevation is identified underneath, that we don't have to try to, that kind of,
What
and
if
also
we
where
were to
the,
do it building by building?
That's
One
fine.
sheet would be the
that
main
would be
building, one sheet
perfect,
would.
right.
okay.
And then-
Right, Peter? Right, and also, if there's any way that,
Sabine? Do you have her phone?
No. Should we try and answer that one?
I'm not gonna stop.
can I keep going?
Sure.
Okay. And is there any way that on the doors that you're proposing to switch from glass to the solid doors, that it could have a shading so that we could
Yes.
visually see that?
Yes.
Okay. And are you open to possibly adding any more of the solid doors on the second or the third stories? Can you revisit that? If there's any way that you could increase the amount so we could get to the 50-yard line?
Well,
This building.
and would you, yeah, I think some of them, we do have them. Would you be open to us changing out the railing all throughout the property and reducing and making it more?
Well, you know that that's where we've been going.
Well, that's why
We've requested that from the get-go.
right, so we proposed it on the ocean, so if we came back with the compromise of adding the
few
railing with
more
the
solid
2-inch.
Right.
The 2-inch gap,
And
the
a few
2-inch
more
width.
doors, like that you really see where you can swap some more doors out to get us to more of a, a 50% reduction in light versus, or,
You mean 50% reduction from what we originally
yeah,
presented?
right,
Okay,
right, because, it's possible that you're at 30 at this point, you know what I'm saying? But give us
Right.
just a little bit more.
okay.
And then on the railings, my question would be, are they going to match the siding in the shade of the natural wood?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
absolutely.
And you're gonna give me all the colors of the dark gray versus what's paint, what's frame? Or you're not painting all those frames, are you? Aren't they
No,
already?
that comes factory done
Right,
in
but I don't
color.
have a really, I have like a black spot.
Right. So just to clarify, so we're gonna do the elevations, and we're gonna do it building by building. We're gonna shade in which ones are solid.
Right, and
Do
you're gonna
you-
try to give me more doors that are solid.
Correct. And then, but then just for your storyboarding that you want to see, do you, like, are you okay with those renderings, or do you want to see a rendering of each? Like that,
It would be, if we had started that way, we wouldn't be here today.
okay.
I would like to see the colored renderings as well as have the elevations, because I'll tell you what that's gonna do. If we're all on board, we can approve that and reference it in the resolution.
Okay.
Right? Because to be able to speak to something, we're not gonna be able to just verbalize what the resolution is. We're gonna have to reference the drawings. And I'm gonna ask Peter, would that be suffice to approve based on,
It should, definitely
Right.
should be.
okay, so if we have the exact elevations that are understandable and more specific with these at the same time, I think we could get to the next
You've
step.
come a long way. Very grateful. We'll see you at the next meeting.
But wait, I just want to throw one more thing out. I just want to confirm something. It just came into my head. I think I'm okay, because you said you're gonna do the slats, the 2x2.
Yep.
Okay.
And we do have a detail of that here as well. I mean, so we did have a detailed drawing of it, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, we'll change it back.
Right.
But it's like a detail on the back page of the,
Okay.
right, but now it's gotta change out.
We'll change it,
Right, right. And if you could, again, when you're coloring the doors, color the railing so that it's not just, it looks like that we can have even if it's half of it.
correct, okay. I understand.
I'm good.
I'm good.
You're
Okay.
good?
I'm good.
Okay. See you at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Even table. Thank you.
I'm gonna say it.
Nice job. This is your page two.
I just need 1 second to sort it, just organize myself.
So we're tabling that.
We have tabled that. Which project, sir?
133 Bar Drive and 24
Sure.
Harborview.
Wait, I just want to ask one question. Peter, do you have any problem with those picture window glass where this is going to be?
No. Those are all the way back and don't have a,
No, they're actually face the street.
yes.
It's the residences, so
Right,
it's,
I'm more concerned about the ocean.
Right.
And the adjacent properties.
It's actually better that you're entering on the side too. From
I
the-
think so.
yeah, From
And-
the residence.
Yeah, because there's homes across the street there, so it keeps it kind of contained.
Which ones are you,
We're doing,
133
Thirty.
Gerard Drive.
okay, this is on fences, walls, and berms for 133 Gerard Drive LLC, care of Dewey's Planning, and there's no tax map number on this. Do you know what the tax map number is?
41-2-25.
Try it again.
41-225.
Got it. All right, this is to replace a gate and fence that was used for security. The fence is 5 feet, 3.5 inches. The gate is 5'9", the posts are 5'11". The gate in the front has been replaced. It's difficult to see from these pictures. It looks wonderful.
Yeah, it's been painted, it's been
Yeah,
refurbished, so it looks better.
Well, you really,
Newer.
you brought it up to a great standard. It's a little difficult to see from this picture, but it is there. And the fence that was dilapidated and falling down has been replaced with a 4-foot-high fence. It looks great. Okay. Any questions? No? I'd like to make a motion to approve this as presented. We have a second?
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And the next one is 24 Harborview,
Okay,
Cortez.
let's put this away first. Okay.
Can you tell me which one you just did, so I just
We did 133 Gerard right here.
fences?
Okay. This is for Thomas and Rachel Cortez, care of Dewey's Planning, tax map number 300-94-5-27. Diane?
Yes, well, nothing has been done, this is totally a proposal. It seems to me that every consideration has been made of the code for the application of the heights of the fences and the materials used. And it looked to me like it would blend in perfectly with the neighborhood. So I would say.
Wait, before you do, how far back from the road is this?
It's 10 feet back from the property line in all directions. So it would be, where am I? Here. So here's the property line, here's the road, here's the fence and the gate. So it's a good 30 feet, I would think, from there. And then it's angled here, and then it comes up, because we have 3 front yards.
Are you going to landscape in front of that?
Yes, well, it's actually heavily landscaped over here, and there's some existing landscaping here. It's wooded up here.
Yeah, very much so.
But this is, we show Richard the type of fence they want. This is the type of style they're gonna do in cedar.
There's the fences.
Let's see that. I didn't have that.
It's a little opaque. It's like almost 85 to 90% opaque.
These are the drawings we did. Yeah.
Is the landing terrace what you're moving?
I'm just gonna put this on.
I need, it won't fit in the
Is this an automatic gate?
Aren't they 5.5?
5-3 is the fence, and 5-2 is the gate.
Or sliding?
Sliding gate, yes.
So will it have a keypad?
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be
If it's sliding,
manual. We
I'm
don't
sure.
have any information on electronics. So no, it's gonna be.
Well, how's it going to slide? I mean, it has to,
They have to get out and open it.
Yeah,
on
that's what it
rollers.
was going to be like,
On rollers.
they're going to get out and
I would
roll
assume.
this open?
These people on the wooden court.
I have to ask them, I don't know, to answer that question.
Okay, I have to assume that either there's an electric eye or that there's a keypad there. And I
Sensor,
would be, since it's set back, I'd be curious as to where that keypad is going to be located.
We're concerned about the distance from the gate to the road,
It's about 30 feet.
about 30
Yeah,
feet.
it's 10 foot off the property line, and the road is another 15 to 20 feet from that. So,
So you could fit a keypad and still
could
be
fit a
within the
keypad.
property.
oh yes, it would still be on the property.
Okay, we need to have that marked, so you need to find that out from the client.
Can I indicate tonight that we would do a sensor and not a keypad, so it would be automatically opening upon approach?
Sure,
Okay, that's what I'd like to do. I don't know.
Okay.
it makes a lot better sense than trying to roll this thing down.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now, as to the corner, this is on Clinton and Harbor View. If we took an isosceles triangle and tried to project where this fence is going, are you set back far enough on that corner?
Where's the gate?
Gates up here.
Here, so this
This
is
is
10
my
feet
corner.
here, this is 10 feet here, and then we're just angling it here. How far back do you want to see it? I mean, I can move
That-
it.
Okay, that is a measurement I can't give to you, but your surveyor could,
I'm
to tell
sorry,
you
I don't
the-
understand which measurement do you want?
of the
This-
fence
this?
itself. On the corner itself, I am concerned about the location of this fence for the visibility coming around either of the corners. Plus the fact, Jamison, do you know the wording on the code for the corner for the fence
You're
as to
talking
the
about site
setback?
distance?
Yeah.
Site distance.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I don't know the
How high is this
section.
fence?
Here's the
5 feet.
stop.
5 feet, 3.
is the height.
Is the height.
Yes, this is the proposed.
What kind of fencing is it?
Cedar, clear cedar, horizontal planks on cedar posts.
And there's no mesh in between the planks. Do you have a picture of it?
No, just,
Oh, I see, I see.
yeah.
Is it open or?
This is what they sent us as an example of what they wanted. I think this is taller than 5 feet, but it's just kind of a sample of what they're hoping to build.
Can we open it up?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, it's about 85% opaque. Can we bring it
Okay.
down to 70?
Sure.
And is the gate the same then?
The gate will be the same.
And lighting?
Lighting, we have two little eye drop lights on
Do
the
you have
posts
a
here.
cut sheet for that?
Did we print that out?
No.
Okay, we're going to need that.
Okay.
And the gate's the same height as the fence?
The gate is the same height as the fence.
And the posts are at 5'3" as well?
Posts are at 6 feet. The fence is at 5'3".
Is there a cap on top of the post?
That's what's at 6 feet.
Okay, great. Good. Thank you very much.
Why do you want to go so high on the posts above? It's like,
It's actually,
Nine.
it's not all the posts, just the ones for the gate. The rest of the posts will be 5'3".
okay, so they'll be
So it's
flush.
just
Oh,
to
that's
frame
good.
the,
That's much
just to
better.
frame
Yeah.
the gate,
That's
So the
great.
posts for the gate are 6 feet.
yes. And the wood part only goes back to this point here, and then it becomes wire fence in here and around here.
And what's the height on that also?
5 feet also.
Would you check the code on this?
On the site distance
that
issue?
corner, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I'm unsure, but rather than
Well,
spend
yeah,
the
I mean,
time tonight.
I know what you mean, because when they come here, they need to be able to see
Correct,
around it, but
correct.
I think we're okay there. The other thing we have on our application is this area here, which is a shower enclosure, so it's the same type of structure, it's cedar wood.
What's the height on that?
It's 5 feet.
Is this existing?
No, nothing's existing, this is all proposed, Betsy. So this is proposed to be 6 feet high, made out of mahogany and wood posts. And it's set back here, but since it technically faces a front yard, it's a
Yeah, it
wall in the
does,
front,
right,
in
yeah.
the front yard, so we added this portion of it, which is
And the height is, I'm sorry.
6
so-
feet.
So Clinton, you're going to see it from?
Well, that's why we're bringing the wood fence down to this part, and then we're doing more wood here. The wall of the shower will be wood as well.
You have enough room to landscape out here, too?
Yes. Yes.
And the wire fence in the back, is it wire posts? I mean, it's poles,
It's going to be,
or is it wood?
it's going to be wood on the corners for support, and then metal posts in
So
here.
it's wood and metal posts.
Yeah. And this will be our pool compliant fencing.
Got it. Anything else?
No,
Okay. We're going to table this.
Lighting,
Lighting, we need to know.
sight distance,
Okay. Cut sheet and lights.
anything else?
Yes. That would be very nice. Would you come forward, please?
Is this like kind of?
If you'd introduce yourself for the
is this
record.
like all enclosed?
Good evening, I'm David
Yeah.
Buda. I'm a nearby neighbor of this property. I'm very familiar with the property. I've seen it go from a vacant lot to a improved and beautifully landscaped property, at least on the side. My only concern is with respect to the front of the property. If one drives along the length of Harborview Drive and nearby vicinity, there are no solid or nearly solid opaque fences, which are really walls, greater than 4 feet along the roadway, and I would hate for this to be the first one. I appreciate it's set back 10 feet from the property line, but the drawing that was in that file, it really I couldn't visualize what it looks like, but it looked pretty solid, although it looked it would be, as you said, fairly close to opaque.
70% open. No, 70%.
No, 85. It appears to me to be 85, and I requested 70.
70.
I mean, as you all know, anything over 30% is considered a wall. And they're asking for 5'3" or 5.3 feet, I'm not sure which, and with the gate, with 6-foot posts. If you take a look at this roadway configuration, it's a little tricky because Harborview Drive is a 50-foot right-of-way. And you see an extension. To really get a sense of where the curb line is or might be in the future, you have to look at the storm drain in that southwest corner of the property, which is very close to the line. There's an extension. The builder actually extended out onto the road and put grass onto the road and making it a false appearance that the road is further away from the property line than it really is. I think putting a 6-foot posts and 5'3" opaque or fairly opaque gate on this street is out of character with the neighborhood. There is one property that has a 4-foot gate. There are others that have open gates, but there are no greater than 4-foot tall gates in front of the property frontages. There are some houses that have their sides on Harborview Drive, but none that are in front of the street, in front of the actual house. And I think when you look at the distance to the true street edge and where it might be when this road is finally improved and finished, I think that that's dangerously close to the roadway front. And of course, your concern about the corner is well taken as well. I don't think that this fence is in character as to its composition, its appearance, and its height with respect to the neighborhood.
I just want to ask one question. Is this, there's 2 Harborview Drives. One goes on,
There are 3 Harborview.
okay, so which one is this one?
This is the one that is comes
You're on 3 Mile Harbor,
south of Chagrin and north of Copices.
so it's on the east side of 3 Mile Harbor.
Correct.
It's not the other one
Right,
that's.
it's not Harborview Avenue. It's not
So it's
Harborview
over
Lane.
by the marina. Okay, I know
Right.
where it is. It's fairly undeveloped in a lot of ways.
Well, it's just the houses, it's getting more and more developed.
Yeah.
There's some new
But
houses
I
going in,
know-
but no one's
right.
been putting in
Fences
fences
up,
higher
right.
than 4 feet in front of any of the premises. So you have this open aesthetic, which I really appreciate, and I think the town should.
But that's what I meant
strive
by
for.
not developed. But I've just, somebody explain to me why we're okay with this being completely fenced in, unless I'm not seeing
We're
this
not.
properly.
That's a pool fence in the back.
This is wire from here on Clinton. It's going to be wire from here back and from here over.
At
the
what height?
pool.
at 5 feet.
But then they have a fence that goes all the way around the front. I thought, isn't that more than 50% of the property? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, it's not a deer fence.
It's not deer fencing. The question, and I appreciate your comments, let me readdress the applicant, please. I think that what you've heard from me initially, without having the eyes on that our guest has, as well as our board member that's done the actual inspection, I am concerned about the opaqueness. I am concerned about the height, and I am concerned about the location. So in consideration of that, I think that you've heard my requests, and I think that you've heard a community request as well. I think you need to bring it back to us to ameliorate
Okay,
this.
we can work on the opaqueness. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all if we relocated the fence further back from the street.
I think
would
that
that be
that would be excellent.
a good
I
idea?
think,
Okay.
again, that the point that I was trying to make, even at 5'3", that appearance is not neighborly. And I like to see nice neighbors. And in particular, if this is an area that is not enclosed by fencing, which I'm not familiar with this corner, but I'm just looking at the survey itself. I'm a bit uncomfortable with it.
Okay, well, we'll go back to them and
You're
address this.
within code.
I know.
Nobody argues that. So I'm not trying to say that you have a problem from your presentation, but from the aesthetic of the community, there is a problem, and I recognize it, and it's been spoken to as well by the audience.
Okay.
Jamison, any comments? Thank you very much. Get up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Susan.
Did well. You did very well.
Happy Valentine's
Thank
Day.
you. This is ours, Susan? Or yours? Okay. This goes in the file. Great.
So we're going back to change to commercial now, right? AMG.
Yeah. Ready? For AMG 531, tax map number 300-172-2-33.1.
Hi.
Great. Just introduce yourself, I'm sorry.
Dave Gallo, Georgia Green Ventures.
Okay. You joining us?
I beg your pardon?
You joining us?
I am joining you.
Just introduce yourself for the record.
Catherine Casey from the East Hampton Housing Authority. I'm going to ask Kevin Warren to come up as well.
Great, Katie, thank you. Peter?
I was asked by Sabina to put this in a location where it can be seen.
That would be terrific.
Is that
That's
convenient for
fine.
you all?
That's great.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Thank you. This is an application for affordable housing, which we have seen before. Right, we've actually approved it, and some modifications due to economics have generated a reapplication or a modification from what has been originally approved. I think it would be appropriate if you made a presentation as to what we had approved and what is now being proposed.
And you are?
Kevin Warren.
Who would like to do the presentation?
I'll do the presentation. I confess I'm having a little bit of a hard time telling
Telling the story?
modification
Okay.
from the originals.
That
Okay, this is like the
Okay.
original. Sorry. So, what, I also have, members of the East Hampton Housing Authority Board here, and the architect is also represented, Sylvia Lau is here. And I just want to thank some people from the community turned out. There are some Amagansett residents who were
Great.
here. They showed up and supported the project. So this is what was submitted most recently. This is the community house with the stone skirt. There would be one of this type of building. This is building type B. These are the 3-bedroom units.
And this is what is being proposed.
Yes, this is the application.
Okay.
And I think it's here.
The only thing that would change there is the walkway, I believe.
The walkway and on the previous iteration, the entry doors were on the front facade.
right.
They've been moved to the side, which
Right.
makes it a little bit more private.
Any other materials been changed other than the linear?
The siding is the same. No, the colors are the same, the finishes, everything is the same.
It was
Peter?
just the walkways and then that
That's it.
stone skirt.
Yeah.
With stone on the base.
The stone was removed from one of the building types.
I think the size of the windows have also been slightly modified.
Yes, that's correct.
In what way, Peter? Are they bigger or smaller?
Do you have what was originally approved of this building type?
That would be this.
Right.
Okay.
So here you see the doors are on the
Right.
front, they've been moved to the side. There's a little bit more air and light. The architect wanted to bring a little bit more air and light into the units. The railing is the same, the porches are the same.
And is that a vent up on top on both of those units on the left?
On this one, yeah, these have
Okay,
been
and you're
removed.
not venting on the right?
I like the door change.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Any other lighting change?
No,
So
cut
the
sheets are all
exterior
the same.
lighting remains the same?
As per the original approval.
And your pathway is going to be solid concrete rather than brick?
That's correct. It's better for mobility and it's easier to maintain, and it's less expensive to build.
And everything else that we didn't see has gone away, such as the parking structure, the solar?
Solar.
Yeah. What
Well, the
about
carports are
The
the
carports.
other
Which,
area.
I think in the last meeting, didn't they say that they could revisit that in the future?
Treat it as an accessory. Yeah. And the equipment that was facing Montauk Highway, that's being fenced in?
Yes. We previously brought samples
Correct.
of that fence.
Correct. I'm
the
just
health
reviewing
department-
and thinking in my mind what else is different. Peter,
I don't have a
want to
problem,
make a motion?
right, with what has been presented here. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the modifications as submitted.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Paperwork where it was all this-
Yes.
Can I ask a
Does
question?
anyone of the audience like to,
Would anybody like to talk? Anybody like to speak to this application from the audience?
No, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Very
Hey,
nice of you.
excuse me,
Thank you very much.
Those photos, are there smaller versions in file?
There are.
There are-
Yes.
Last week
Yeah, we
when we
Okay.
gave the.
That's why we asked for the larger ones.
Yep, because they were itty bitty on the sheet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I was wondering why the crowd was so large. It's like a lot of applicants.
just because they have nothing else to do on
Valentine's, right, they wanted to be with us. I guess they
All right, for AMG 531, tax map number 300-172-2-33.1,
Didn't
anybody
we
here?
just do that?
No.
No.
I think we skipped over that.
No.
AMG, we just did.
AMG, we did. I'm
Right.
sorry, I read in Windmill
Right.
Housing, sorry.
Windmill.
Windmill Housing Development Fund, tax map number 300-162-05-20.21. Anybody here for the applicant? Okay, Peter.
We reviewed this last time and approved it. This was a modification to the entrance of the community building. on it, where they were creating a vestibule.
Right.
And we approved that, or at least we commented that we didn't have any objection to it and only asked for a lighting submission, since they would require lighting. Currently, the lighting is in the soffit, but they're enclosing that area and would have to submit lighting. Right, for the exterior, no one is here for it.
Was there anything in the file about lighting? Did they-
Nothing has been added to
Updated,
the
yeah.
file. So I suppose we just table it.
We have to.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
So you can't approve the vestibule and ask them to submit another application for the lighting?
No.
Okay.
No, that's backwards. All right, that's been tabled. Put that back in the file. This goes in the previous file.
It's the bin behind you.
Oh, okay. See, we have a third bin?
Yes.
yes, we do.
If we could, I'll take that. For Smart Store, care of David M. Kurst, Esquire, tax map number 300-184-1-8.11. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Introduce yourself if you would, please.
David Kirst from Matthews, Kirst and Cooley.
Let me just pull that for you. You ever discover why it's Leonard Hands instead of Leonard Hands?
I did not know why there's an S on there. This is got some pictures of the gate as
Why
well
don't
as
you
the
have
control
some-
box.
Hold it. Okay.
Nice car.
Not too bad.
Was that a 73?
I don't know.
Split window, Stingray?
That's it.
Looks to be, right?
Hard to say.
Unless it's got a chrome bumper.
I'm a Ford guy myself. So.
David, do you have an application?
Yes, I do.
I'd love to see it.
Where's Learned Hands Court?
It's off of Stephen Hands where the commercial, just on the other side of the railroad. If you're going from Montauk Highway in Waynescott and you're going toward East Hampton, it'll be on the right just after the railroad trestle.
Okay.
There's a little vicinity map there in the corner of the site plan. It's
Get
this
me
lot
there.
here. This is
Stephen Hands
Okay.
coming from, where's,
That's Buckskill.
okay,
Yeah,
So it's
way
coming from
before
East
that.
Hampton.
right. And then where's the train trestle?
Is over there.
It's just before.
Right here. That's the railroad track right there.
Okay.
So the one boundary line of the property is up against the railroad tracks.
And then this is, how do you get to here? Is it,
You make a
On-
right turn into.
Yeah, off of
development.
Stephen Hand's path, this little cul-de-sac.
got it.
Okay, I have a problem.
Is this proposed or is this there?
This is proposed.
Hold on a second. The problem that I have, as David has also, is this is what I have for an application, and that's it. I don't have a formal application, so I have nothing to read from. What I was hoping is that you had a copy of the application that you submitted and you paid your fee at that time. Do you have that?
That's what this is. This is,
No,
we submitted this.
This is for the planning board. This is great for the planning board, but it's not for the ARB. This
Right,
is
it's-
separate document.
It does say, and architectural review
Yeah,
board
I have
application
one of
on
those
it.
Understand that, but
That's what,
where'd you get this?
from the town's website.
You can use it. These are,
Okay.
this is this
Yeah, that's, I
joint
thought this was a,
application that.
that's what I was
Yeah.
informed as well.
All right.
If I had known differently, I would have done otherwise, but I submitted with,
We don't give them out over the desk anymore. I think they're either still available on the website or the planning board will give them out. It was meant to streamline the process, but it's
I'll take it.
obviously not.
no.
In case you're curious. All right, David, take us through it.
Okay, we have two metal buildings for mini storage. We have a 2-story and a 1-story building. I do have samples here of proposed exterior finishes.
Great, thank you for
The
bringing
green would be the roof and doors, and the beige would be the remainder of the building.
Keep in mind what we had happen on the last storage one, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue, please.
I've already passed out some photographs of the gate and the keypad. Those are not on the roadway. They are on the north side of the building. The remainder of the property would be fenced with a 6-foot chain link fence, vinyl coated. We are looking black or dark green, whatever the board would prefer.
But nothing interlaced, correct?
Correct, no interlaced.
Chain link?
Yeah, chain link, black. No barbed wire.
No concertina line up.
Oh,
And we do have, the
You don't-
light
you don't
fixtures
see
are, I
this.
believe, 1,415 lumens. There's 16 wall pack fixtures and 1 post mount fixture by the handicap parking area.
David, can I ask you a question? Is this
See the location of
an
it.
actual rendering of what the building's gonna look like?
No, this is just, that
To
photo
show
is
the
just
gate?
for the gate.
Do we have a rendering of the building?
I don't have any color renderings of the building, we just have the elevation.
But this is the building.
Right, correct,
This is
those
the
are the
elevation.
actual elevations of the
And
building.
this is a slope roof,
Correct,
so there's gonna be a lot of this very bright Kelly green showing
of that evergreen, correct.
with a muddy beige.
Right, we've been there before.
We also have a blue and cream.
Why don't we change it, but the green on the bottom and the gray on the roof?
Well, let me just say this. I'm not gonna say we, I am reluctant to have such intense colors because we did something in the past where we looked at something, it didn't seem crazy, but then when you see it in the size of these buildings, it's like a shock to the system. So I'm gonna ask the board if they're in agreement with me that if we could go something more neutral in pale gray or something that will fade into the sky as opposed to these bright green and this muddy, I mean, think about the spans of these buildings. So I'm just gonna ask you if
Is
we
this
could-
part of a logo? Is there a reason that these
No,
colors have been submitted?
the colors are what our client's choice was.
But like when you
What
look
they
at this,
preferred.
this is so, more
Neutral.
and, acceptable, where this becomes,
It's pretty much in your face, even though it is set back, it is off a
Right.
cul-de-sac. You don't see it. If in fact you could see this from the road, it might be a consideration.
well, you can see it from the sky.
You've been flying helicopters?
Told you, when I find parts in real estate.
Got it. How do you feel about it? Okay, that's the answer. Come up with something else.
Okay.
All right. We're not going to tell you what color, but you certainly have guidance from
The,
us.
the other colors my client had provided were a blue and cream. I assume that we have this.
No,
Okay.
we want neutral,
Okay.
please. We would like to see neutral.
Could you lose the chain link? I mean, just on an aesthetic standpoint.
I think it's more for a security standpoint.
I understand that. I
What
totally
would
get
be
it.
the alternative?
What would be the alternative?
Deer fence.
I think we're.
Well, your gate is nice.
I mean,
You
the
could
chain link.
continue
The chain
gate.
link is within. I mean, one side is the railroad tracks. The rest of it, we have scenic easement between us and the
Absolutely.
neighboring
I mean,
parcels.
there's no way
There's-
anybody's getting back there. So
No, but I mean, visually to see the chain link fence, it's going to be.
But
It's
what about
surrounded
on
by
the-
scenic easement and vegetation, the
Right
railroad
now,
tracks.
But 5
the-
years from now, it might not be.
Well,
I think we have bigger problems than if we've no scenic easement left.
I understand where it's coming from. What about on the two sides? Could you give us a continuation of this gate on the two visible sides, not on the railroad side and not on the scenic easement side? Rather
So
than
just-
chain
just
link.
to be, where exactly are we talking about?
Where is your gate from here?
The gate, that gate is
Over
right
there.
here.
Okay. So, this chain link fence is proposed to go where? Show me where.
It goes all the way from here, from this gate here,
All the way back to the
here.
railroad.
Then around.
Okay. What is visible to the public? What area is visible to the public?
Really, it's just gonna be from the roadway here.
Only from the cul-de-sac?
So you, this short section here from the gate to this side property line. And, you know, maybe this fence here that's in vegetation.
Yeah, well,
What's
this
this
is
property
wide open.
here?
This property here, I believe, is, maybe Triar?
Yeah, it is
The-
Triar,
the-
because
the
they've got the trucks
Pool
there.
and tennis court, right, tennis court people?
I mean, it's down, the elevation and grade goes down from there.
But I mean, even this fence here is 60-plus feet from the edge of the cul-de-sac. I believe the actual roadway is even a little further from
It is.
the property line. I mean, we're looking 60 to 80 feet from,
Does this gate actually do that?
yes,
And those fleur-de-lis are, that's part of the
yes.
scene?
Well,
And
it's
that's on what, right?
prefabricated.
Yeah.
I believe it have to be 6 feet.
6 feet from the grade or 6 feet on the gate?
I believe your regulations are 6 feet from grade, correct?
Correct. And what's the post?
I do not have the, I believe the post is shorter.
They all
It
look to
appears
be
to be,
flush.
Yeah. I mean, we can add a note or some sort of detail that clarifies that it's 6 feet from grade to be compliant.
And there's no lighting there?
No, there's only,
The lighting plan I saw, but there is no lighting there.
no, there's one light here for at the handicap, next to the parking, the
Right.
3 parking spaces, and the rest of it is wall mounts.
Dark sky compliant and all.
Correct.
Yeah. I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, just the
My
way
only
it
problem is the color.
Okay, that is not a decision that is
And there
within
was-
my purview,
And
so I
there
will have to
wasn't
discuss it with my
any,
client.
you're not gonna ask him to extend on a little
There's
bit
no
on the.
purpose.
Okay,
that
all
you
right,
can do
that's
it.
fine.
It's not going to benefit the public,
Okay.
truthfully.
Okay.
All right, David,
All right.
bring us back to colors.
Hail.
Thank you.
very much.
Hail.
That's yours,
Thank you,
right?
David.
That is awesome.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Thank you.
We're going to get this.
Well, we chipped some of page 3. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Moving right along. For Paul Gangsi, tax map number 300-71-2-13. Right there. If you'd introduce yourself, please.
Hope Denon, Brand Planning Services.
Did I pronounce the name correctly or not?
I think it's
Gangsi?
or
Okay,
Gangs
great.
I.
That's it.
I'm unsure.
This was sent to us from planning. I have one of those.
Okay.
Combos, okay. And it is a Is it a residence or is it a rental, like a commercial?
It's a residence zoned in a
In
resort.
a resort,
Yeah.
okay. So, Old Montauk Highway, there's a little road that goes up called School Lane, I think it's School Lane. And there's a house here, and then there's another little cottage, and there is a deck with a hot tub. And, Planning Board is asking us to review this application to approve the existing deck and the hot tub. What can I show you?
Is
Nothing
this
else, okay.
changed to,
No, it's a resort, it's zoned resort, so that's why it's not considered, it wouldn't fall under residential, so it comes to us because it's a resort zone. So anything they change, we've had those in Montauk a lot. So this was the elevation, this is the deck, this is this.
What was the comment from planning?
There wasn't one, just asking us to please review it.
Do you have any comments?
I have no problem with it, it's really very sweet, it's very tidy.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the deck and the hot tub.
We have a second? Diane, second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you. I have a couple more.
Good. I can move it along to,
My
What-
next one is 2004 Montauk Highway,
which is,
Unit 511,
Okay, Ocean
Ocean Colony.
Give me 1 second, Hope.
absolutely.
Okay, where am I?
For Ocean Colony Beach and Tennis Club, tax map number 300-130-2-6, Betsy.
Okay, so Ocean Colony is on Montauk Highway, just east of Lunch, the lobster roll. And it is quite extensive, and it's a group of units. Are those condos or?
Yeah, they're
condos. I didn't take pictures because they supplied me with exactly what they're doing. Very simple anyway. There's units all around. All of the units are wood, and they all have white metal trim doors and windows. And all they're asking us is to approve an existing sliding glass door to replace it in kind
Right.
with a new, correct?
With a new window.
Right, that's on the left side, and the windows on the
So
right.
it's a window, not a door?
Yes, so the
Okay.
door, it's a sliding glass door now, and they're gonna replace it with,
Right,
A
with the window.
window, because the only door is there,
yeah.
and they don't need another exterior door?
Yeah, there's also
Something on the
interior
others.
change going
Okay,
on,
okay.
so.
All right, so I have no problem with that.
Make
So
a
I'd like
motion.
to make a motion to approve the sliding glass doors to new windows.
We have a second?
second?
All in favor? All right.
I just wanted to change one thing. Listed on the application is a different size of the
Oh,
window.
okay, that's important.
It's only by a couple inches, but I didn't want there to be
That's
an
fine, no, that's
issue
good. What's the
down road.
size?
The actual
I
size
didn't even
is
see the window. I just
32
looked
by
at it.
48.
Just, if you would, write it in, please, and just initial and date it. Great.
Would you like those plans calling it out?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want to stamp this in with today's date? Do you have a stamp with you? You don't have a stamp. Let me write it in there.
Do you want this to go with my packet or with
With your packet.
today's 14th? Is that it? One more.
If she had-
Well, yeah, this one, and then there's an extension of time and a CO. This one is 75 and 77 industrial Twin Forks mini storage.
Okay, that's mine.
Let me just give this to Brittany.
All right, this is for Twin Forks Mini Storage, tax map number 300-192-3-43.1 and 54. Okay.
So this had got planning board approval earlier in the month.
Got it, February 6th.
Yeah, February 6th, and basically what's going on is we're demoing a small metal shop.
Right.
The existing building is going to remain, and a mini storage building is going up.
Okay, this is where LTV is, and the adjacent property, 75 and 77.
Yeah, this is LTV here, and this is the new building.
Correct. Okay. So let me show you some pictures. I think.
So it's an existing building and then a new building.
Yeah, no changes
This
to
is
this
part of it.
existing building, though.
Okay,
It's
this
like
is
a
right, okay.
beige.
You can take a look through all this.
What a storage.
Yeah,
facilities.
storage is in. Colors, 2 samples.
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
So, I need to take a look. So, the colors are on the other side. This sandstone is the siding, so the walls of the building. This white doesn't really, it's the interior. And
Oh, that's why it was included. Okay, couldn't
yeah,
figure that out.
and then this is gonna be the trim and doors.
What's the roof?
I'm not sure. I think it's probably gonna be this color,
What color? The same as the,
the same as the siding. But I'd have to
Well, the
check
gray
on
we
that.
like.
we like the gray. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the walls like a pale gray, the roof like this gray, and then the trim be that on the lighter color.
That's what you'd like to see. Would you come back with what your client would like to see? Because what we've got.
It doesn't have to be brilliant
we're not crazy
white, but
about.
something a little more grayed off, and then have this trim on that, because we're really trying to move away from these really bright garish colors.
I understand that. I know it is a prefab building, so I'm not sure what the flexibility is with
Okay,
that, but I
we
can
need to
take
know
a-
what the roof color is going to be.
Okay,
We're not crazy about the trim color. We're fine on the building color.
okay.
What is the existing building gonna stay the same?
Yes.
So they're not adding these colors to it?
Nope.
They're not going to
everything's
clean that up at all?
Not planned.
So why wouldn't they keep in the same feeling as the existing building? Why are they going into something that's a disconnect to the other building? Isn't that other building white? And what's the roof on it? I can't really see in the picture. It's white, or an off-white,
It's an off-white.
yeah.
So would you like to see it, this new
I'd
building
like
in
to see
white,
it
or
match the
keep it with
existing.
Yeah,
this?
I would like to see that it would match since they're not changing anything on the existing building, why are they going so far away from what the existing is?
See if your client would be willing to match.
Yeah,
the
there
existing.
may be a reason that he wants to highlight the trim to make the building more visible from Industrial Road, but there's no traffic on Industrial Road.
Right,
so
and it's
we're not-
back behind.
It is,
Yeah, it's
correct.
hidden
It's all the
behind.
way in the back.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what they're doing, and it was very confusing when you submitted the 3, but now I see that the white is for the interior.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know what the roof is and what color. We need to know what other trim you're going to come back. And other than that, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
All right? I'll take that. You can keep one and
Was this Twin Forks mini storage?
This one
Yeah.
is yours. This is the second.
Yes. What's your, do you have a question on it?
No, I just wanted to be sure. So we're tabling this.
We are tabling it.
2 more.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, put that one back in the file first. Next.
Samuel Levitin. Oh, that is an extension of time, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
What firm are you with?
Land Planning.
Item 11,
Okay.
Is that the one?
Sam Leviton?
Yeah, it's
An extension.
an extension of time, but let me just think about this for a moment. This is tax map number 300-184-2-33.1, 37 Squires Path.
So the two properties are right next to each other, under different names. And when we originally applied for the extension of time, we accidentally grouped them together. So therefore, one resolution came out when there was two separate.
And when was that?
I'd have to look at our cover letter. I think it was in October.
Do you know that those fences have annoyed me since the day that they went up?
I didn't know that.
Do you know that it is so overbuilt with the gates and the posts on the interior?
I did not know that.
Are you familiar with the property?
I'm kind of new to this property.
Okay. Squires Path goes off of Stephen Hand's, and this fence, which has been built with the bad side out toward Stephen Hand's, is horrific looking. And I will not grant an extension of time. So I'd love to see it come down.
How
I
big
don't
is
know
that
how it got.
stockade, how tall is that stockade fence?
It runs from 6 to 8 feet. It depends where it's located. It's all throughout two properties. There's a separate entrance to the house on one property, and then a private area that you access from 37. 37 you enter, 35 is where the additional property is. At 35, there's a 9-foot post and 8-foot gate. It is not really visible from the road. You have to go into the property to see it. But we're not going to grant an extension of time.
Okay.
They need to move this forward.
Meaning they need to change it.
They need to make an application and
into
bring it up to
compliance or
date
something.
and come into compliance. So we're declining the request for an extension of time. Do we need a second on that? Do we have a second?
Was this an approval?
Second.
No, it's just for a request for an extension of
No,
time.
but from what?
So-
What were they extending the time?
Yes.
Why were they extending the time?
It does
We
matter.
got approval. They were extending the time
It was.
to bring the property into compliance. What they have now is not what was approved.
Okay, thank you.
There was a mix-up. We did grant an extension of time for one of these two recently. So I don't know why the board did that, but it's within your rights to not grant this one, which means you don't have more time to bring it into compliance. You have to do it now.
Okay,
Or take it
because-
down?
Because the approval's expired.
right, okay.
So they've had probably over 3 years to bring it into compliance, so the
Got it.
time is now. Unless they would like to try and seek approval for what is currently existing, but I think you could take the temperature of the
Yeah.
board. They probably are not going to approve it. It's up to you.
Okay, understood, thank you. I'm not
Okay, so this is actually two different properties.
correct.
Are they two different tax map numbers?
Yes, that was also something we wanted to mention. The original approvals have the same tax map, but they're different addresses.
Okay, yes, they are different addresses. So the physical house is on 37. 35, does that have its own tax map number, and do you know what it
It
is?
does, and I don't know it all.
Okay, so you're going to bring me a tax map number on that?
Okay.
Okay.
But when they put
did
in a
address
new
it in the cover
application,
letter.
won't they have?
It'll be on it.
Right, right. They'll have two separate applications for two separate properties.
Are the cover letters here, or do those remain in the ARB office? Because it was
can't answer
mentioned
that.
in the,
I can't answer that.
okay.
But you have copies of them.
I'll drop
I've seen a copy. I think what the tax map numbers are correct on the latest cover letter, right?
Yes.
Yes. There was a mistake on our original resolution, then there was a mistake on their first extension of time application, so therefore there was a mistake on the second extension of time. So there's mistakes on both sides, but I don't think that can be cleaned up, but that doesn't.
Yeah, but
affect
so
us.
does, the fence needs to be cleaned up
Right.
too.
Right.
And that whole fence has got to be reversed.
it.
I want the good side facing either Squires or Stephen Hand's or any visible area. And I want it under code. and it's surrounding the properties, it's just not going to happen the way it is. So they need to be familiar with what the code is.
Okay.
Okay, great. So this will go back in the file and expires.
And my final one.
Is also, I'm sorry.
You have
It-
more?
One more and then I'm out of here. I'm sorry.
Okay, which one is it?
Port Royal for CO.
That's
The very last one.
Port Royal Owners Corp., tax map number 300-27-2-2.1, that's it.
So this was an approval from October 2015 that the ARB board approved 2 existing sheds and the relocation of 2 dumpsters with stockade fence enclosures per the survey of July 21st, 2015. Do you have a survey for this property? Because I did not have it in my packet, and Brittany was kind enough to dig through the old file to see if, from this resolution, if there was a survey in it. And there's a reason why I'm asking for it, because when I visited the property without the survey, while you're looking, I'm gonna talk, okay?
Okay.
I didn't know where the sheds and the dumpster and the enclosures were. The only thing I could see was there was one shed, that looks like a shed, right? And that looks like a dumpster enclosed, but that's one. And then I found on the property, it was pretty wet. It was like almost flooding. This also looks like an enclosure, but I don't see another shed that I could, see walking the property. So my question is, are those 2 approved, 2 existing sheds and 2 dumpsters with fences, are they on the survey?
This is, I'm not very prepared for this. This is in the
What's the
approved
date of the
site
survey?
plan. February 10th, 2011.
So this was, that was before the approval to relocate. So we probably need an updated survey
Definitely.
in order to go out and see if the dumpsters and the sheds are where they are on the new survey.
Okay.
And then we could move that along.
I think we
it-
need the survey that's referenced in that
We
resolution as well,
definitely need that.
because we need to see
Okay.
where the location
If
is
you
that
could
was
go back
actually
into your
approved.
file, and what's the date of this resolution, of the
I'm
application?
sorry, October 8th, 2015.
Got it.
Okay.
Because if you get an
I think I
updated
have
survey,
that
it's just
survey.
going to show where they're located now. But how do we confirm that that was the location that was approved?
So you want the old,
Which really, we need to find that.
I'm sorry,
We should try and find that in our files.
well, they might have it. right?
If you can find it, that would be very helpful.
Brittany looked and she.
Maybe
yeah.
the building department?
So you're looking for the original survey before
The
they
survey
moved it?
that the application references.
Right, or the resolution references.
Right.
I think you read it, the date.
Yeah, October 8th.
No,
20.
July 21st, 2015 would have been when the survey was done with the current supposedly the current location.
Right.
So that's the survey that we're looking for.
Right.
July 21st, 2015.
Because then you can take that survey and go out.
Go out and see where they are, okay.
But maybe in the meantime, we can try and look, if you don't mind looking, but also try and clear up the shed versus enclosure issue, because it seems pretty clear from the photos that there might not be 2 sheds in one dumpster enclosure, which is what was approved.
Okay.
2 sheds were approved and I can only find
Right.
one. But it
That's-
could be way behind
Okay.
in another, obscure area, because this is on Navy Road that butts into,
Right.
the bay water, and it was all flooded and,
Okay.
but I thought I kind of walked around and saw as much as I could. So,
I will look around and try and get you that survey.
okay, so there was no extension of time on this, right? It was just to try to get the C of O for this, okay.
Correct, and we
So we're
have-
gonna table this until we have something for me to go back with and check out, okay?
Got it.
Good.
Well done, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
everyone.
Thanks, Hope. Britt?
All right, let's try and pick up where we left off here.
I think we're bottom of page 2.
No, just double checking to make sure I haven't missed anything.
Carissa's bread?
Harrison.
I'm gonna say we were up to Carissa's.
I know where we are, I'm just making sure that.
Yeah.
Versus top of page 3.
I must have an old version.
Okay, for Carissa's Breads, tax map number 300-188-1-12-13.
Thank you for your patience. Good evening.
Thank you for your time.
Introduce yourselves if you would.
Thank you for all you do to make our communities beautiful.
Thank you very much, we appreciate that, too. Okay, this is for a change to commercial as well as probably a modification to the existing plans. So let me just go back over this so that everybody's clear as to where we were. This goes back to March of 2018, where a new corrugated roof was to be painted Benjamin Moore Ice Cube. The existing CMU walls, gutter, and downpipes are solid metal with an ADA door. The metal windows and door frames were painted silver $50, and the cinder blocks facing the Montauk Highway are the same color. Much of this has gone away. So let's take one at a time. The entire exterior facade to be stucco, not partial CMU block. Take us through which sides we're looking at from the road itself. From Montauk Highway, looking at the property.
Okay, so what happened was, since I last presented, we last presented, there were existing conditions that we discovered during construction. We realized that there really wasn't much CMU block here. It was mostly wood that had just deteriorated. So because of that, we resurfaced this, and I know that there was one issue that you had, which I also personally had, and that was that there was sort of a plinth here that was trying to make up for the difference between the CMU block and what was happening with the change of elevation. So now that has gone away, and the entire facade, which did look like this originally, I have 2 copies if you want me to open it up, is now, this is all stucco, the same color.
Which is great.
It's a lighter gray, a light gray, same color as, as originally, but I
Which
think
one
the
is
whole
that
thing
on
looks
here?
cleaner. I believe that it is
The medium one.
the medium. It's going to read in the sun. It'll probably read pretty light.
Yeah.
I believe that that's it. I haven't looked at this for a while, actually, but I'd like to be certain of that. But it did not change. It was
Okay.
approved and it did not change.
Maybe it's on the back. It is.
No, they're going to be the corrugated metal roof. And it says the darker is the windows and doors. And maybe this is it. This is the walls. This one here.
Okay. So it's like a dove gray.
It's not all that different from whatever your roof was. If this is your walls and this is your roof,
The roof changed color.
The roof did change color.
Yes. So the reason, do you want me to go to that?
Yes.
So the reason that the roof changed color is, my feeling is that it was just too bright, that it was going to reflect. And so we upgraded the roof to titanium color. It's also an upgraded material. And I have I tried to get the actual sample of it, and it wasn't available. But this is it's a titanium color, so it's a natural metal, which will also read, in the sun, and otherwise it will probably read
is it like a
somewhat light, but
standing
not
seam
bright.
roof? Or is it a flat seam roof?
No, it's a corrugated metal roof. It's the same roof.
Same roof. Yeah.
Same roof, but we upgraded it to an actual metal color, this titanium, rather than the white.
Okay, I have no problem with that.
Do you need a sample, though?
Yeah, it would be great to have, so if you could secure a sample and just turn it in
Sure, I'll
over the
get the
counter, would be
actual
great.
metal sample.
Okay. Next, additional mullions to the facade doors and windows.
So this was the final design. The mullions are the same, they didn't really change, they tightened up a little bit, we thought it was more attractive. We also had to add this kick plate, it was just required. And in this area here, this is the entrance to the cafe, it needed to have this addition just because of wind and because of structure to the glass. This was required. Honestly, I would have preferred just to keep it straight, but I had no choice.
Interesting.
So, and it's the same on the actual entrance. Because the mullions are very thin, it required, in order to get the lock set in, and also because, for safety reasons, I guess because if the door blows out, or it had something to do with the wind, we also had to add that horizontal plate to the door. It's metal.
Oh, that's interesting, too.
And I brought this with me because this is the actual painted color. It's called Yale Gray. It's a pretty close, it's a dark gray.
And what is that for?
The steel.
The steel.
Mhm.
Like to keep this?
You can keep that.
Okay. Peter, any questions on that? Okay. The rear doors with vertical mullions, 2 glass panels.
So we changed that in order to match the front of the doors. We just thought that the building should have the same aesthetic. And so this is it's just pretty close. It's not a criddle door because those are very expensive, but it's another door that will mimic the lights, that verticality of the doors and windows in the front.
I have no questions on it.
Okay.
Removal of the exterior door between the 2 buildings.
That was a funky.
Yes, I bet it probably
It was really funky. And so I guess when we first looked at it, we just,
You
it was
didn't know what to
here.
do, right?
Yeah, it was really, and then there was this big tree growing out there that was picking up the whole building. So this is just stucco.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's just going to
Plain and simple.
disappear, and it's going to have,
Going to plant in front of it,
we're going to
maybe?
plant, and I'm going to propose next our new vegetation and garden, which I think is
Right.
really beautiful.
Great. That's all that I have. Is there anything else that you have?
I do. Something just came up actually this week, and I'm sorry because I didn't have I didn't have time to make a copy of it, but I do have all of the information. And that is by code, we realized that we needed path light on the building, in the front of the building. This is the ADA path. And so we put up a light here. We haven't, but we'd like to put a light here, because we, by code, need to do this in front of this door, as well as the 2 back doors.
We just need a tear sheet of it.
Okay, I'm going to bring it tomorrow. It's a micro night, and I have all the information. It's an LED 4000K. The idea is it's just going to very lightly glow and not.
Any other lighting on it?
Well, we're going to replace the current path lighting, which I'd like to propose to you with my new vegetation plan. We're going to put it in the same place, but we're just going to replace the fixtures.
So that'll run down the side of the building toward the back, toward the parking lot. What are you going to do in the front? I mean, you need to identify yourself better. You need to open that up. You need to cut that curb. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can go back to zoning and to planning to be able to identify the building more and let the public know you're there.
I would love to. I'd like to propose a plan for signage next. I don't really understand what the requirements are and what I can do, to make that building more accessible, because I myself used to pass by it all the time, and then I'd have to do a U-turn and try and go back and say, oh wait, it was over there. So if you have any suggestions, I'd be very open.
A fan blowing in the air on the street.
Is there room to put a double-sided sign?
There's no need to put a double-sided sign there. Are you thinking of putting it on the building or at the curb, not at the curb, but at the property line?
On the property line.
There was a sign next to where Zoe Architects, I think, had their sign. There was a sign, you just couldn't see it. I think it was actually tucked into where the ADA spot is. So I'd like to sign, at the same sort of at the same distance from the street as Zoe Architects. I still don't think it's going to be super
Do I have
visible, honestly.
a survey in here?
I also was going to propose lettering here on the building.
Well, take a look at your sign code so that you understand
Okay.
what we permit by code.
Because if it's on the building, you can't have a double-sided sign. And if you have a double-sided sign, then you can't have it on the building.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
And the double-sided is 32 square feet total, and then if you do something on the building without the double-sided, it's 20 square feet.
Okay. So, this is what we're discussing, this area right here. This is the parking that they have as you come in off the street. This common road comes into the back. Parking is in the back of the building itself.
So what we're going to propose, and we're bringing it to, I guess, for site plan review, I believe, hopefully it won't take too long, is there's an issue when most people think that that this is the front of the building, that there's parking here, and so they pull off of Montauk Highway right into the front of the building, went into the handicap, and they realize, oh no, there's no parking there. And so they have to back up right onto Pantico Road. So we're going to propose to continue the hedge here, block that off, and maybe put a little sign basically that says Carissa's, parking or something, so that people know that this is how you access it, and then ask for an open curb cut here. And then move this parking back just a little bit, because you can't really back up. It's a long way. This is not, it's past code. You need to push it back a little bit. And my hope is that once we push it back, then I would love to put raised beds and herbs and flowers that we use for our cakes, because I think that would be really lovely in front of the building. And it would be helpful to Carissa, because she's always asking me to go pick flowers.
And I will happily make anyone a cake if this is.
But isn't this driveway for this property?
It's a shared, because
It's a common driveway,
it's common to my
It's the only
small
way you can
parking
get
lot.
back here unless you come in the back road.
Yes,
It's the only way.
All this stays, this brick on the back?
No, that's all stucco.
It's now
Oh,
stucco,
yeah.
so all of the brick went away.
The
No,
whole
it
is
wasn't
stucco,
brick, it
and
was
there's,
concrete
Well,
block.
yeah, that's
and
what I
this
meant.
is also a new window, but that was approved.
Right, I just wanna, so what is this that I'm seeing that looks like it's the concrete block?
This is all stucco now.
Oh, so this was prior?
This is
Okay.
This is
the top
prior,
of the
and this is,
existing.
this is
Right.
now.
New, okay, thank you.
You've had to redo the entire roof?
We had always proposed to redo the roof. I think there was a misunderstanding at some point, because we didn't have the height that we needed for all of the ovens. The roof that was there was a structure that included sort of these, beams that were very low. They were 8 foot low, but they were not old beams. They were from, I guess, the 70s. And there was no way to eliminate those without removing, it was just an easier, less expensive way to construct it, was to remove the whole roof. And then we used horizontal steel and purlings to open up the whole thing, and I think it's quite beautiful inside.
Great.
I think it's really beautiful,
Well,
really
You're
beautiful.
giving a great presentation.
So this Clarissa's Bread is actually not on Newtown Lane.
No.
No, it's
The
on
original
Montauk
one.
Highway.
Right, so, but is the tax map correct?
Good question. That is a good question. Is that tax map number correct?
What do you have on the survey?
Newtown Lane is our mailing address. 221 Pantico Road is the new building.
Are you gonna vacate the Newtown Lane store?
No, that's going to be
And
more
what
of a
number is that?
patisserie.
Is that?
68
That's
Newtown
the
Lane.
68, so that's where the
That's our mailing
confusion
address.
is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this flipped, this should be
Oh,
here.
yeah, right,
And that should
exactly.
be there.
The tax map that's listed on the survey is correct.
Okay,
The
but the
address
address
is
is
not.
not.
It's
So
just
what's the
flipped.
address on Montauk Highway?
221.
It's right here,
Pantico Road.
Got it.
that one. So they should have just flipped these,
Got it.
and the mailing address should have been under Clarissa's.
Got it.
I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything here, but I think that those were the things that I really wanted to show you and keep you abreast of.
Anything about the doors? Want to talk about the doors at all?
Well, these are not, the doors ended up being cradle,
Okay, let's check that out.
so they're much prettier doors, and they're single lights, they don't have the horizontal.
Can we
they're
get
slightly
tear
narrowed.
sheets on those too?
Sure.
Okay, that'd be great.
And I think
I
it
think this
probably-
was a proposal, and this was a long time ago, yeah.
Don't you think it would be a good idea, since we're getting a sample of the titanium metal roof color, to also get updated colors of the
Yes.
trim and the walls?
Yeah, let's confirm what you got.
Sure.
I think that's
I
great.
haven't changed
Just
it,
in
but
case that's-
I'll submit it,
yeah.
a whole
Yeah,
thing
color
together,
thing,
so
yeah.
that you
That'd
have a
be
new,
great.
Right.
that you have it at your disposal.
Thank you very much, your table.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you did very well.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Big clip.
Sure.
So we'll see you at the next meeting.
Yes, we will. Do you want me to leave this with you?
Do you have that?
Do you have this? I added the, just
And
the.
we'll save that.
Okay.
I think we'll fold it. We'll fold it,
Okay.
because our files are flat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for.
Be within walking distance. Great. Walk there.
It was great.
So exciting.
Business.
3 years of practice this January.
For Ed's Landscape Service, tax map number 300-145-5-16. Been very patient. Just introduce yourself.
Bill Kelly. I'm a contractor for the project.
Okay. Peter.
This is an application. I will read. Construct a 3,840 square foot building, and that includes 900 square feet of office and 2,940 square feet of storage and shop space, with 8 standard parking and 1 handicapped accessible space.
Correct.
Correct. I have to tell you, I had a great deal of difficulty finding this property,
It's hard to find.
and I'm not sure I actually did find it.
Yeah, because it has, I think there's streets, that its address street doesn't even exist on the survey. On the,
Well, you found Farrell, so I guess this is,
Well, I'm not sure, because this one shows the property. Farrell is up here.
right. There are 2 parts of the road, that's why.
Is this correct?
I don't think that's correct. I think it's up here.
Okay, because
Yeah,
that's
okay.
where I went
Yeah.
on it, and I couldn't necessarily equate this
With that. yeah.
with that,
But
even
it's-
though it is triangle, and it does say Queens Lane.
Yeah, I believe the property's actually, just when you come onto Queens Lane, and without having an aerial.
So,
I might
so
have-
this
I might have-
location map was wrong, and I
think-
went to the wrong site, because I couldn't find it.
Let me see if I have a survey in here. Here we go.
This is the first time in all those years that you've been stumped on a property.
I drove around here for 45 minutes.
We need
Well,
Ed.
it's kind of funny, because as I was sitting there, you know, taking some time to look at the maps and everything, is what you just said dawned on me.
That it's the,
Yeah,
that
because it's
this
actually.
is wrong.
This is wrong. This is wrong.
Yeah.
That's all correct, but this is wrong. And when you come down Queens, here's Baker, which, and here's Cheryl Foster. And I'm not, the dump, I think the dump's back here. Because Cheryl Foster dead ends, like where the dump is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be more where the town road department is? Because
That's a little
It's
further
a little
up.
farther this way.
That's
That-
further
that- That Farrell project you were talking about earlier
Is
is
that
right
piece
in
right
here,
there.
right here, yeah, yeah. So that's the location. This is a wooded lot right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also realize that when this says that the property is vacant, but This is not vacant.
That's not vacant.
Right.
And I think there's a King Street here someplace, because the address for this property is 6 King Street. But King Street's been changed. And I'm not sure what it's been changed to, whether it's been changed to Cheryl Foster, Queen, and then...
I'm not trying.
Yeah, but it, you know, if you look back through some older maps, it does exist. And then Baker Avenue, that's
Also
been,
doesn't
it
exist.
doesn't exist. That's been abandoned, and part of this project, we did a road abandonment to the balance of Baker. So,
Okay.
Okay, so my photograph,
Nice shot, Peter.
So this is a new building,
it's a new building.
and it looks like,
I have to tell you, we're going to need some more information on the building, right? The materials, the colors, right? All right.
is that the rendering of
Because
the building?
This is,
This is
yeah,
the
this is
extent
a
of-
rendering, as far as...
The shape?
Yeah, was there a set of building plans with the application?
Nope, this is the
No
extent of what I got.
There's actually elevations on this plan, but I can certainly get you a better set of elevations.
And this is what you propose for the roof?
This is the siding. It's a hardy, actually, this is Nichiha. And it's a shingle type siding. So this is just a piece sample of it. And then this is the roofing and trim material.
What
What's
type
in
of
the
roof
roof?
is
Yeah.
it?
It's
It's a metal roof.
a metal roof, and it's what we call a high rib. It's a flat, a rib, and then a flat.
Like a
They're 12
standing
inches.
seam.
It's like a standing seam, but it's a lap roof. It's not a true standing seam. The rib has a 1-inch profile to it, and every
And it's
12 black. Yeah, every 12 inches is a rib.
These antennas inside here?
No, it's just it's a decorative item.
Got it. Lighting?
Shown.
Lighting?
Lighting is page 2, and we're using it's an LED, 3,000 Kelvin, and another plan here, same thing. So we have lighting by the entry door. The lighting at the doors is 7 feet tall, and then these are 2 overhead doors on the end, and the lighting there is set at 8 feet.
Bless you.
Any fencing?
No, the only thing is
Isn't this fencing?
no, that's erosion control
Okay.
for construction. It's just for construction. The planning board was real sensitive as to how we landscape and everything, and wanted us to leave a lot of natural buffer, because it's close to the neighborhood, you know, even though the Farrell project's over here or right here, but.
There's still houses there.
Yeah, and it's fine. We conceded to all that. The only fencing, the only fencing that exists is what's around the dumpster, and then we buffered that with landscaping.
And what's around the dumpster?
It's just, I think, I don't think, we don't have fencing around the dumpster. We have, we just buffered the dumpster with landscaping. Proposed landscape screening.
Okay, you have a little homework.
Okay.
Not bad.
No.
We'd like to
Actually,
see your.
quite honestly, I swear I submitted plans with the application, but that doesn't mean anything.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with the colors?
Yeah, no, no problem.
I like green for, I don't like the black either, but I don't mind the green since it's a landscaping company.
Yeah, it's actually, it's actually not really a green, it's supposed to be a,
Looks green to me.
yeah.
Is it the lighting in here?
It's more of a charcoal. Here's reality.
I don't like the black roof.
Can we do something like within like a medium gray, like this, you know, we were talking about that titanium metal gray?
As you can tell by those photos, you're going to see a lot of roof.
So the trim is going to match the roof, is that?
Yeah, the windows are black.
How about solar panels on the roof?
We don't want those. I mean, do you let those happen?
Yeah.
They're black.
They serve a purpose.
Understood, yeah, but they're 1970s technology, so.
Even the ones that they're putting up, oh yeah.
They're a little more fit, but, you know, I'm just really trying to get that industry to push themselves into something a little better, and they don't, but anyhow.
Okay.
I'd like to, wow.
I don't have a problem with the black roof, they do, so.
No, I don't have a problem with the black roof. You know, I'd like to see it lighter, but, you know, be
Black
based
is
on what they're doing and the place, I think it's fine.
If you saw their house, and I can get a picture of their house, and that way it would, the owner's house.
What does that have to do with it?
Just because they're gray and black. Their house is gray and black. You know, but this is
Practical, a black roof that large.
In what respect?
From a, you
Yeah,
know.
it draws the, I mean,
The heat.
draws the
I mean, if it was a black shingle roof, you know, you wouldn't have, we probably wouldn't have the
Okay.
conversation. But anyhow, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it's insulated building, it's a lot, you know.
All right,
it's,
well, you have a little homework to do, so go do it, and we'll see you at the next meeting, because we're going to
Okay.
table you.
Yeah, and the homework is
Plans and elevations
plans and elevation.
Yeah,
Okay.
colors.
and colors.
So I think that's what he wanted to present.
I got that message.
So when you say colors,
An alternative to the roof.
Re-examine.
Re-examine's a great word.
Maybe the photo of the house would actually be helpful, so you guys can see
Right,
what
the visual,
the
right.
visual, yeah, any visual.
their house doesn't have a black steel roof.
Oh, okay.
But,
That's what I
That
thought you
wouldn't
were
help.
suggesting.
I thought that's. what
No,
he was
well,
saying.
the color combination on the house, when you look at it from the street, it's gray and black. So it reads gray and black, you know. And
What color's the roof?
Black, but it's a black shingle roof.
Okay.
Yeah, and for costing purposes, we just assume go to the black steel roof.
Okay, thank you very much.
So the next meeting is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ocean Colony, we did.
I'm going into fences, walls, and berms
Yeah,
and
makes
Adam
sense.
Levin.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
That was Hope.
Did we do the Monticelli?
Yes.
We did Botticelli?
Oh, no, we didn't. I'm
didn't.
sorry. No, 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 you're
Botticelli
right.
we
You're
had.
right.
Rita Botticelli, and tax map number 300-28-8-29 and 30.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, Rita Bonicelli.
You're very patient. Thank you.
I may not be as
Okay.
articulate as I was a few hours
All
ago.
right. Betsy,
You want to read the tax map number?
300-28-8-29 and 30.
7 South Fuller Street in Montauk. You're heading east after the downtown. There's a little road off to the left called Fox. It takes you down into this little neighborhood, and you're the only one with a fence that wraps around its entire property in the entire neighborhood.
There's a bunch on, I know several of other
Well, I'm not,
landscapers.
I'm saying when I come down Fox and I'm on Forest and I go down into your cul-de-sac.
Sure.
You're the only one with a fence that surrounds the
think
front.
we-
I'm
okay.
done
Oh,
saying.
sure, sure, sure.
Okay. That, it's apparent to me that this was one of the only ones that I saw, okay? Besides the fact that it entirely encloses your property. And I have one more question before we open it up. You can't really see it, but there's like a 1-inch wire mesh in between this fencing. This is the front, this is the side. What's up with that?
So we have a dog and we have.
Oh, I see, okay.
So we have a dog and we put a pool in and we were fencing the property and then we
Right.
got the dog, so we figured I think we are we're in a cul-de-sac. I think there's only 4 other houses on the property. It's a very friendly block. I think we're the only full-time residents. And we do have a dog, and we actually had a vegetation issue. We revegetated. I did take one picture of there's a grassy, at the cul-de-sac where there's our 3 other neighbors. It's a large, beautiful grassy knoll that the deer just stay on day and night. We revegetated our property, and the deer literally decimated. We planted inkberries, blueberries, and they ate everything. They have gotten into the pool construction when we were building it. We had a deer that had to be removed for hurting itself on our property, and now we have a 100-pound puppy. So we did our
Which
best.
probably would keep your deer out.
It does, I took one picture.
But a 5'6" fence is not gonna keep the deer out, so.
It has thus far, so, I did just take a picture just because right now, obviously, it's bleak and there's no vegetation. But I took one where it shows we did try our best to do inside and outside. This is one picture from the,
Okay,
Is it the same
okay.
hydrolayer?
Yes, pretty much. It ranges anywhere from 5'3" to 5'6". You wanna take a look at the survey and how it encloses the property. So, my thing is that this is a really nice-looking house on a really nice-looking piece of property in a really nice-looking neighborhood. By code, you're enclosing your entire property, which is, you can't do.
okay.
Okay, so there's a couple ways to do this. You can, in the front, if I can have that. You can move the front fence back that runs to, if you follow me on the survey, Peter, to where your garage is, and then across, you can have some fencing there to keep that back. Or if you cut this down to 4 feet in the front, and you put a fence that runs along the parallel with the house, then you can keep your front, but you can't enclose your entire property.
If you could just run that by me one more time. So
If this front, well, let me just say this. Around the side, the front, and the side of the property, like half of the property, is this fencing. In the back side is, not chain link, deer fencing with metal posts. So what I was suggesting, if you want to keep something here, if you knock this down to 4 feet, then you're not enclosing your entire property with something over 4 feet.
Okay.
If you don't want to knock this down and you want to keep this fencing, you can run that push it back so it runs parallel to your garage and your house, but then you'd be exposed to your front of your house and the driveway.
I'm just at a loss for how that's gonna prevent any deer. So we now
It's
again
not.
have to
It's
re-veg,
not.
right?
It's
So what
not.
am I supposed to do? We have to re-veg again in the large part. I just met with Mark Abramson in the part that I need to revegetate, which gives us the
What do you
most
mean by
re-veg.
revegetate?
Because it's overcleared again after the deer ate everything. We literally took out what was dead. And now we're in the process of, we have a plan in the works with Mark Abramson to re-veg. And the largest strip is from the garage to this border of the fence, all the way in. And that's, if you're looking at it here, that's this
What are you
whole section.
revegetating with?
With all natural indigenous. We're doing mostly inkberry, same stuff.
It's a requirement, the town is requiring that.
4,000 square feet, and there's only so much left. Could have built a 7,000 square foot house.
Excuse me, what?
It's, Mark Abramson works for the town, so I'm assuming if they get an overcleared violation, then they have to
Oh, I see.
revegetate in the natural vegetation in the area.
And we're not in
Did
any
you
sort of
clear
violation
it?
state. Well, we built the house ourselves, yeah. So
Okay.
we had re-vegged it, same spot. We did Rosa rugosa, inkberry, blueberry, and I kid you not, they were completely eaten to death during that really bad winter, where deer were eating holly. So I'm all ears to,
Okay. I think that Betsy's suggestions are good. You have a couple of choices.
so it cut down sounds like the most practical.
Yeah, it really does. And particularly from a neighborhood standpoint, it probably would be a lot friendlier if you were 4 feet all the way along that property.
that expense of the front.
So the front, okay, I can maybe, the side, I just want to, sorry, that's not,
Yeah, I know.
just the,
But it's easier for me to reach there than to reach across the table.
so this side is not even like this other, so I know we're on a corner lot, but we have so much vegetation. So in the front, it's about 15 feet in from the road, and on the side, it's at least 20 feet. You don't even
So
see the
here's
side.
your driveway.
Correct.
Okay? So what I would suggest is anything that's visible around to this gate to go to 4 feet. And then you could put a fencing from that point where the 4 feet is, and you could do up to
6 feet.
6 feet
Just
from
facing
here
the
to
road.
the garage, and then from the garage to the house, and then over here to the gate.
Sure, so the two largest areas of re-veg are gonna be exposed, and that's just what I'm trying to prevent.
And
So you
but,
don't think
but in the meantime, you have, the back of your property is about 50%.
Would you prefer the back to be secure or the front to be secured? You've got 50%, so what would you like?
Well, can I just interject for a second?
Sure.
What it seems like you just proposed, she doesn't need ARB approval for at all.
That's
4
correct.
feet in the front,
Right.
6 in the side and back.
Sure, but everyone here just agreed that 4 feet won't keep deer out.
Right. So,
Or my 100-pound dog in, so
Right.
I'm sort, and I understand I
No,
can
but
keep the
it
dog
would-
in the backyard.
Right, you would have 6 feet all along here, and then you have your fence that's keeping the dog in the back now.
Sure, but
And
I
then you
need-
would be 50% of your
Could
property.
you answer my question? You prefer the front yard protected or the backyard?
Ask Mark Abramson if he'll forgive me 2,500 square feet of, he won't, so I need to replant
Answer my
for,
question.
neither is gonna get me through the
Okay,
re-veg issue.
Fine, then we'll table it.
well, can I just, I just want to remind the board that the 50% enclosure of the parcel is just,
This is, what we're suggesting, you want to look at this?
no, I just want to remind you of the code. The 50% is only the limitation for the deer fencing if the fencing fits in that exemption that you don't need ARB
Correct.
approval for at all.
Right.
So this board does have the discretion to approve fencing that encloses more than 50% of a parcel.
And I must say,
Well,
I've never heard of that. I was not
Honestly,
told
this
that.
is a little bit more than 50%, the back from the plane of the house and the garage. It's excessive. I'm just saying, the pictures don't do it justice how excessive this is.
I don't
And
even
no-
have-
And no one else in that area that I can see, unless, I'm not looking at it,
Okay, well, let's just
so.
concentrate on her property
Right,
then.
but I'm just saying that it doesn't fit in keeping with the neighborhood.
Right, I'm just suggesting to the board that let's not rely on the it's more than 50% enclosed parcel argument, because that's actually, that doesn't apply. That's not like an overall.
No, I understand that, but
So in not keeping with the neighborhood, now we're back on track with, what's within the code.
And if I could ask, just since I'm here, when the question is, would I prefer the front or the back, that doesn't have to apply, correct? I could enclose my entire property, but I'm gonna have to either lower it.
Right, so
Right,
what it is if you went to the building department and you had this fencing that fits within this, what we call the deer fence exemption, it's 2-inch square black wire field and farm fencing, 6 feet to 8 feet in height.
which it does
2
not,
inch.
it's 1 inch, like, it's almost like
Right.
a chicken wire.
And
square.
it has the 2-inch black metal poles. It encloses less than 50% of the area. It's installed on 2 property lines, and it's more than 20 feet away from running along the remaining property lines. And it's not subject to site plan review. So if that were your case, you would never see the ARB, and that's where that 50% comes in.
Okay.
If you want to enclose more than that, it's at the board's discretion.
Okay.
So that's when they need to work with you and looking at the, the character of the neighborhood and the other fencing and gates on the, in the neighborhood to see what they would approve.
And I'm trying to ask you for guidance to tell us what you would like to secure with this fence.
So I guess my biggest issue is the dog. I could definitely work around, but the deer fence is not as secure because he's a big dog and he can get through just wire. This seems to work. He's never once gotten out. The bigger issue is this constant need for revegetation. And I met with Mark several times. We did the aerials. If I just protect the back, I don't really have that much room left in the back to re-veg. We were abundantly clear. I need to almost re-veg the front part. If I let the back go, then all the veg and the natural veg that I have there gets eaten. We have a neighbor across the way, just one road down, who feeds deer.
What
We have
do
a
you
cul-de-sac.
want?
I
What-
want to make you guys happy, but I also, I have a million people, and I don't want to do that, that have this exact same fence by the exact same builder, and they're maybe not on my cul-de-sac, but they're in the other South Fs. And we love our neighbors. It's an extremely friendly block. I don't really know what to say.
I think she's looking for approval for what.
Yeah, I'm actually, I waited here for 3 hours, and I want some advice other than what you're telling me.
Do you think that we haven't waited here for 30 hours?
No, of course.
But I have nothing to say.
Okay.
It's clear that you don't like the fence, and it's not going to get approved, so I don't really want to waste anybody's time.
I have to tell you, it's not that I don't like the fence. I think the fence is great. I didn't understand the little, 1-inch wire. I don't think if it was 2-inch that a 100-pound dog's going to get through that, but,
I'm happy to tell the person who installed it he's got to put 2-inch. That won't make me unhappy.
But it's an aesthetic thing. I just thought that if you knocked the front down to 4 feet, and then you were able to do the 6 feet on the plane of your house in the garage, your dog could be in the back, and then it wouldn't look so big. And then you could take the wire off the front. It just is.
So then I guess I'll have to go for a variance for the vegetation then. I'm just
Or
at a
go
loss.
for variance on go to the ZBA and ask them, to look at this for you.
Okay.
And maybe they'll approve it. I just think,
Well, do you
I
want
lived
to
in-
ask the rest of the board, just so that you're clear if that's a denial?
I think that the board would agree with Betsy as to the scope of the fence, as to the size of the fence, the linear.
I don't want to
size of
belabor
the
anybody. I
fence.
don't want to belabor any points. I'm getting the message. I'm just extremely disappointed is all, and I'll have to find a way
We're trying
to
to
get myself
work
into
with you,
compliance.
and I've been asking you to help us so that we can have some common ground here
Sure, but
and
with all due
resolve this
respect,
issue.
I don't think that maybe I'm not articulating myself clearly enough. I don't know how mathematically I'm going to be able to meet the re-veg requirements without, so I can't give you an answer. I understand the question you're asking me. My answer is I need to enclose both from deer.
Well, let me, wait, excuse me for 1 second.
Okay, sure.
I understand what you were saying about our discretion with 50%. So if we wanted to, we can enclose the entire property.
Yes, because the only place that is mentioned is in the deer fence exemption section.
And just the one point, I understand exactly what you're saying about the front. I just wanted to, just for one picture, and this is in the winter, obviously, but the one portion, so this side is against a neighbor. This side is obviously the street, and then because we're on a corner lot, it's on the cul-de-sac, and this side is, the other corner is facing the street. And there's just one picture that I wanted to submit, just for the file, that it's almost invisible in the summer. It's almost completely invisible to anyone who drives by because we have so much vegetation. And then in the wintertime, obviously, it's much more visible because there's no leaves. But when we do a loop around the cul-de-sac, so anyone going or any of our neighbors don't really see. So the 3 houses that are in the round part of the cul-de-sac aren't staring
But
at a
in
big
the front,
fence.
you don't have any trees in the front.
We
So
do,
it's all
actually.
very
It's,
exposed.
we have forsythia, all things that are much more lush, and a lot of seagrass, which are much more less in the summer. I have the one picture that I can also give to the board to keep, but there is quite a bit on the inside and outside. And just to point out, we don't have a neighbor in the front. There's one to the caddy corner, but the lot across, it's never been built on. It's a vacant lot. So no one's actually directly facing, and it's a dead-end cul-de-sac. So I will take, I don't want to repeat myself or waste anybody's time.
Where are you with this?
I think it's excessive.
How are we doing?
I haven't been out to see the property, but I have to rely on Betsy's feelings about it. She's
Diane?
Well, it seems so out of character. I think that's the thing that is the stumbling block here.
Could I make a suggestion then? Why don't you bring this feedback back to Mark and tell him what's been raised?
That's a
Because,
good idea.
yeah,
And then he might have some
if
suggestions.
it's a violation, she has to bring her property into compliance, so we're gonna have to work together. So maybe he has some,
And she's not in violation of any fencing codes with the way it is right now.
no, she's probably in violation too, because if it's over 4 feet in the front yard, she doesn't
That's
have
what I'm
approval.
saying.
Yes,
So- Yeah.
Which is
that's why she's here trying to seek it for the,
Right, but
If you would do the 4 feet in the front yard, we could pass this.
Well, I wouldn't have to come back if I just cut it down to 4 feet, correct?
That's correct.
So,
And you could even put your 6 feet on the plane of the house and the garage to keep the animals out and your animal in.
okay, all right. So just to be clear, if I left this side is just to a neighbor's side, if I did
I'll show you
just
on-
the front, if you could just tell me what would need to be
On the
cut down?
survey, probably best.
Yeah, go ahead.
From this whole area here.
Okay, so the entire wooden fence.
Front,
So
right.
the entire wooden fence would need to be cut down to 4.
And
I'm
then with the
just-
plane of the house.
What you're allowed as of right is 4 feet, up to 4 feet in your required front yard.
Sure.
So if you,
Because all of this actually faces a street.
This
Up
doesn't,
until the
though.
back. No,
This
this doesn't,
doesn't.
and up to here it doesn't. But this whole area does. But I'm saying if you just knock it down to the gate area, and with the plane of the house at some point.
Okay.
So it just, when you're coming down that road, you're not just seeing all this fencing.
Okay.
I mean, the good thing is that it's very open, and it has
Yes,
that
it's
very
great.
sort of,
It's natural cedar, we never even, we
Right,
didn't
right,
even,
right,
We like the fence.
it just comes at such a great expense.
Yeah.
And obviously, it can't just be cut down to 4 because that's not how believe me, I thought of this prior to having to come here. It's just not as easy a fix as it seems. The whole
Yeah.
fence is gonna have to be redone or it just chops it mid-piling.
Well, I did measure, up into this one, if you just cut it here, and you're a little bit over 4, and I think that there could be a little
Okay.
leeway there if you just, took this top
That's what I was
piece
looking at
off.
also.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because obviously I didn't wanna cut it mid. you
No,
know,
no,
'cause then
no,
it would be
no, no,
awkward
no,
looking.
but I think, let me see if I wrote down.
Are
What it-
those
Just
1
take the
foot
I think it was
sections?
like 4'3" or something and because of the grade, it changes.
Yeah, no,
a
I
few
know it's a
inches.
hilly lot
But
as
if you
well.
just took that, right to there and took this post and then the top rail off,
Okay.
I think that would be acceptable.
I mean, I think that's a better solution than having to just truncate my lawn.
And then enclose your back so that nobody gets in and out.
Okay,
I think that would be great.
okay.
I mean, it's very, the property is beautiful. It
Thank you.
just, and I understand, without the deer, but if everybody fenced their entire property, the deer would be sitting on the road.
All right,
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night. Let me get all my stuff together.
What time is it? 7:00?
Mine.
All right, Adam Levin, care of Jeff Ulysses, tax map number 300-54-3-18.
Yes.
Hey, how are you? Just introduce yourself to the record.
Jeff Ulysses.
That's great. Diane?
Yes, this is a 1.5 acre, a little larger, in the Grace Estate or in the Bay. That is very, very beautiful. I think the first consideration is whether the coastal protection area is considered part of the property in terms of the 50% fence. And if it is, which I understand it is from Brian in planning, then I think in the 50% is fine. The fence is exactly, it is a large deer fence, black. It is exactly 6 feet, the posts are exactly 6 feet. But the posts are 8 feet with the exception of the gate posts. All the other posts are still 8 feet and everything is so beautiful that they look ridiculous.
Okay.
So I think if you brought those posts down to 6 feet, and I couldn't get in, the gate was locked, I couldn't get in, but I assume that the fence is in keeping with the survey, and if it is, I think it's okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, we can bring him down, considering that the fence is 6 feet high anyways. We can bring the post down to 6 feet.
Okay,
I don't think there's any issues there.
Fine. like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this application with the understanding that the post will be taken down to 6 feet.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Good to see you. For Wilson Leon, tax map number 300-100-2-15.3. How are you? Okay, just introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Wilson Leon.
Great. Diane?
Now, Wilson,
Yes.
you've been before us
Yes.
before with this issue, and you were required to move your fence back so that it was 20 feet from the road. And the method by which you moved the fence back was to build a little wall. Why didn't you just move the whole thing back? Why did you build that little wall?
Oh, because I have the pictures. Because it was a hole there, and just this way I covered that side was open.
That's my picture, and that's his picture.
Yeah, was before like this opening, and then just I close.
I mean, he remedied the distance from the road by building that little wall.
What's the height of it, Diane?
The height is fine.
Is that a gate?
Yes, it's a gate.
Yeah,
It's like a
15
pedestrian gate?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, everything is 6 feet. I mean, everything, the height is okay. And I suppose that the opacity would be okay, but it's now, instead of having just the gate and the thing, we
Doesn't
have
this
these
look
little
like this is
walls.
the outside?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And the
Do you
walls
have this
face-
type of piece on the inside?
It's inside, yes.
This is inside or facing the road?
It's
This
it's
faces
inside.
No, it's facing the road.
yes.
The little wall is facing the road.
And do you have a cross member like that inside also on your
Yes.
property?
Yes,
You do?
yes.
So I guess it's decorative.
Yeah, that's what we're
Fred's bracing.
Yeah,
Right.
appears to me. Okay, so what you did was basically build a wall.
Yeah.
Because it was like hole like this, and then when I moved back, and then there was a hole there.
And it's at 6 feet?
It's at 6 feet.
Okay, make a motion.
So we make a motion to
Approve it as presented.
accept it and approve it as.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day.
You too. Thank you. For Roseanne Stanzione, care of William Shapiro, tax map number 300-159-4-3. Hi there. Very patient. Thank you.
What do they say about patience? It's a virtue.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Just introduce yourself.
Sure. Will Shapiro, Law Officer William D. Shapiro, counsel for the homeowner Roseanne Stanzione. With me is Mark Hirsch from Walpole.
Great. Diane.
Okay. This property is located at 183 Oakview Highway, which is almost to Ann Street Road. And this is what exists, which is very nice. There's a double gate. It's not a very big property, but there's a double gate. And this is what exists right now. One is open and one is closed. And the application is to build, and that gate is about 58 inches, I think I measured, which is a perfectly fine gate. Anyway, their application, they would like to build they would like to replace these gates with much more elaborate gates that are still within our code. They're less than 6 feet.
Okay. We have some updated drawings. I was going to wait until you guys were done.
These are similar. These
All
are
the measurements.
I'll take the updated ones and then let me date them.
Sure. So you'll see it on the bottom left, right entry gate, and there's a side view, and then here's the left entry gate.
So there's two gates.
Yeah.
Two gates, or right on Oakview Highway.
Is that because
This
it's
is
a
the-
loop?
It is. Yes.
Did you want to see?
And I have a couple more surveys if you guys require them to.
This is the situation. So this, adding this, this more elaborate gate and adding, I guess that's 11 inches that you're adding, maybe
10 or
12
11,
inches.
yeah.
Is going to remedy the deer problem, which seems to be the problem, deer and from jumping onto the property. However, you suffer financial damages.
Yeah, we think that that'll be sufficient. I mean, their landscaping's been ravaged by the deer. And, you know, we're just trying to preserve
We got
the
it.
property.
A question for you. Are these spheres lights or are they just
No,
decorative?
they're just decorative.
Okay. And from the grade to the top of the sphere is what dimension?
5'11".
5'11" and a
That's what it
half.
says. Okay.
Yep, 5'11" and a half.
Are these automatic gates?
Yes.
Just one of them.
Okay.
One is a service and one of them is automated.
Right.
This one is
Okay.
automated.
And how far off the property?
28 feet.
28 feet.
Here's
And
a
where's, is there a control panel?
Yes, you'll see on here, the control panel is, keypad
Now,
is
show me
here.
on here.
Yeah, it's
where it
not,
is.
it's not on here,
It's
unfortunately.
12 feet
but it
from the
would be-
gate.
or 12,
It's
12.
It's
Not
on
on
the
your
property.
property.
It's on the property. This is 28 feet back.
Okay. This shows me that's the property line. This shows me that that's where the gate is, at the property line. How can it be?
I'm not sure this is property line. Maybe you're right.
That's what the survey shows.
I don't know how ravaged the property is very, very compact. And with the exception, once you take away this driveway and these gates, I mean, they're ravaging, but there's not that much left to ravage. I mean, really, it's a very compact property and it just seems to be like overkill.
You mean as far as the gates?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's establish what Peter
Sure.
has found.
Is this property line?
Could I see that?
Should be.
That's the property line. Either the gates move back or, right, the keypad,
Oh, I see what you're
doesn't
saying,
exist.
Diane.
Because the
It's a
keypad
small
can't be
property.
on city land.
Keypad must be on the property.
Fair enough.
And Oakview Highway, you know, is it's not a
big road,
grand
right.
estate
No.
gating and everything. I mean, this is just. I mean,
Client
it's-
felt it was cottagey, you know, and she perceived this as cottagey, and we worked together with the picket spacing. It's very open.
yeah,
The
you'll-
vista's very open.
You'll see that the proposed gate is even more open than the one that exists there currently.
Please answer where the keypad is.
Yeah.
Well, the keypad right now would be 12 feet from the fence, and, you know, we would obviously be more than happy to relocate the keypad in as much as it's feasible given the project.
Show me where it is on the survey.
We'll either put it on the front pillar, I'm imagining, or
As
set the gates
proposed,
back.
It's not plotted on here, but it would be,
I thought,
and I
honestly,
think it would be
when I
helpful
called
if we
down,
looked at this in
that I could
conjunction with
be
this, and
not
this is
high.
kind of like
the client was
that.
able to put
So
the
you'll see
keypad on.
12 feet from here, which is
As long
right
as
here.
Would you
they're
answer
taking
my
the
question?
chance, if light
Yes.
becomes
I
in,
don't
wipes
see it
it
on-
out. Okay.
it's not on the survey.
I stand corrected.
We cannot approve construction of something that's not on the owner's property.
I don't understand where this is all going anyway. Diane's got a really good point. I mean, it's very overbuilt for the property. It's a lot of gate for the property. You already have this driveway in?
Yes.
Okay. These gates are on the property line. You have a C of O for this?
The house?
Yeah, with the gates on it, or did you just build the
She
gates?
just, I can't speak to that. She just purchased it and has
The gate was
everything.
there
Oh, I see.
when she purchased the house, and
Now she wants new gates.
And the CO, the most recent CO was issued after the date when the fence was installed, but the fence wasn't installed by Ms. Stangioni.
Okay.
One of the reasons she's changing design is she wants automated gates.
But only one of the two are.
One of the two are, but they need to be matching, and I need to steel frame this width, so she needed to change the design. And this is what she fell in love with, because again, she didn't feel that this was stately, that she just felt it was cottagey.
How wide is the drive by the gate? How wide is that gate opening?
14 feet and 9
14 and
inches.
3/4.
Because it looks bigger, doesn't it?
14.9 pillar to pillar.
Yeah.
So it's 15, almost 15.
Something's not right, though, as far as this
If it's
property
not right,
delineation.
then please come back
Sure.
with the correct one.
What's the date on this?
It was very recently updated.
Does it make sense that 28 feet back is the start of, or every property's different?
Well, it must be some kind of easement or, I don't know.
It's the street width. Right, I mean, this shows.
Okay.
Well, it's a real problem.
Well, I could, may I?
Yes, please.
I could put the keypad, I could recess that into the pillar. The homeowner's gonna have a garage door opener. A lot of people on Gin Lane, et cetera, they'll put the keypad into the pillar and people will get out and they'll push the call button. I'm not saying that's gonna fly, but I have remedies. It could be a free entry exit and just they'll pull up and it'll open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So come back to us with an alternative. As far as the gates are concerned, they're fine. And just from an aesthetic standpoint, Diane happens to be correct. It's a bit overbuilt for the property. That's.
But there's not a
nothing
big
wrong.
jump from that to that.
There really is.
So it's really the keypad, not on the property, fair.
Get it on your property.
Great.
Would you require surveys that show the keypad when we come back?
We do, definitely.
If you have a keypad, because you could also do it without a keypad. which
Deal with
is
an
just
electric eye,
a
that's
sensor.
fine too.
Okay. So,
And we just need to know what's happening there. And this survey is as of December 21st, so it's a current survey. Okay.
come back in 2 weeks with a better plan for the keypad. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks.
This is yours.
This is yours.
Do you need this? Do we have one?
You have these
No, that's the
posters.
updated one. I want that.
Those are some
Perfect.
less.
These are the ones we had, right? Do you want these back, or can we have them?
You can have those.
Well, here's one, we'll take
The
one.
updated ones are November 16, is that correct?
Yes, those are the most current ones, right?
Okay, so this is an update as of today.
So just so that I'm clear and we come back with exactly what we need next time, you want this, if the keypad is not included in that, you need it plotted on the
On the survey itself, right.
Or if it is plotted within that, you just need an updated set of plans? Or if we come back and say the solution is we're putting it in that, you require that to be
You
reflected?
need to come up with a solution where it's on your property. I don't care how you do it.
Fair. All right, we'll see you guys on the 28th.
Thank you very much.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Likewise.
It's almost over.
Yeah, I know, I'm in trouble when I get home.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You camping out tonight?
Are they, both of them next, hopefully?
Why don't we call them? Let's call them,
Okay.
whoever they are. 'Cause this is like,
Which case are you here for? Oh.
C of O.
Okay. You don't have to be here, but you're here.
That's C of O also.
Okay.
do you want it? It's
Let's-
Richard, it's up to you.
Let's run that, okay.
Do Fred.
Well, if Peter just went out, so then that's not gonna happen. Okay.
And what was the other one?
Yeah, Richard and Sue Philippa. Okay, I'll do that. Richard and Sue Philippa, tax map number 300-142-1-11.38. You don't have to come up, just relax.
We should let them come up there, they're waiting for 3
If you'd
hours.
like to come up,
Come
you're
on
more than
up.
welcome.
Come on up.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Come on, get on camera.
We have to thank you for your good work.
Thanks.
Very impressive. A lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Yes. Okay, I've watched what you've done over the years.
Because it's taken forever.
It has taken forever, hasn't it? And the only concern I had was, of course, I couldn't see underneath the cover of the pool as to what you've done, but I presume it's gunite.
It's gunite. That's 20 by 40 gunite.
Okay, so resolve that the Architectural Review Board approves a pool permit for a 20 by 40 custom gunite swimming pool as per specification prepared by BGK Pools. I'd like to submit this to the building department for an issuance of this.
Is this an ag overlay, is that why?
Yeah, it is on the one side there, and it's not a problem. Well, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night now.
Thank you for your patience.
What a way to spend a Valentine.
Well, listen.
It's always interesting, though. Thank you.
Well, good.
Good night.
It was on an ag overlay.
Peter,
And what happens is the property
the next
drops
meeting-
off.
Oh,
and
I
you
see,
can
so it's
the
not
pool.
like
You
flush.
can wait for you, Fred, list.
And in the winter, it's exposed.
Yeah. So that's why I asked, because it's a learning experience.
Peter's back, okay, and, okay.
It was,
Peter apologizes, nature called.
That's all right, you're allowed.
it was
Okay.
Frederick Lease.
Right. For Frederick Lease, care of Cameron Christensen, tax map number 300-150-3-16.4.
Which one are we on?
You're on
third
Frederick Lease,
down.
third down on the
The
C of
last
O.
one,
Okay,
Hi.
the
greetings.
third one down C of O? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, this.
And you are?
I'm Linda Velasquez, and I'm with Momentum Solar.
Okay, great.
I'm here for Valentine's Day.
Okay. Tell us your name regardless.
I'm Philip Petratos. I'm here
Great,
for
Phil.
Solar.
That's great. Peter?
The application, or what was approved, was a gunite swimming pool, but I believe that what you're asking for is approval for solar panels?
Solar panels.
Solar panels, that's what I thought.
I know Mr. Lewis has a bunch of other things he needs to close out as well. So do you have the wrong paperwork?
Well,
And he's
I
gonna be
actually
here on the
have
28th.
multiple paperwork.
Oh, because I know the last people were also here for a gunite swimming pool, the ones that you guys just spoke to.
What does it say on the
I'm trying to,
resolution?
Can I excuse myself?
Yeah.
52 solar panels mounted on rooftop.
Yes.
All right. The array will be installed on existing roof. The roof is constructed of 2x8 wood trusses, 6 feet on center, spanning 13 feet 11 inches max, with a top chord length of 6 foot 6 inches, with intermediate web supports at 1/2 points, making the effective longest span 7 feet 5 inches, with 1/2 OSB plywood sheathing. The new array will add 2.63 pounds to the roof. Please see panel layout, and then there's a series of equipment. All right, and this is the building as it existed, all right, prior to the installation of the solar panels. this is it with the solar panels installed. I don't see a problem with it. I am concerned about what you said, that there are other things.
Well, he's gonna be here on the 28th to take care of those things.
Okay, so we're just addressing the solar.
Right.
So I'd like to make a motion that staff contact the building department, that this application is ready for a C of O.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you all very much.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
You guys get to go home now.
No, are you kidding?
Just skip to
Lots of
Henry.
resolutions.
We're only about halfway through. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you, likewise.
Okay. I have a whole bunch of other things that we haven't done.
Oh, yeah, no, we haven't gotten that.
Oh, God, we have an hour and a half drive home.
All right, and this is for the Honest Diner, care of Mark Smith, tax map number 300-170-4-22.1.
Where are we?
We are on issuance of a certificate of occupancy. It is the second one down.
So this Julie Strong at 121 Harrison Avenue,
That's been postponed.
Oh, what about
okay, postponed.
Ben-Ami?
So
Oh, I did that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, both of those. Those are the two properties that face out onto Stephen Hands with the big fences.
right,
There was an extension of time.
okay, so this is
No, that was Samuel.
What are you asking? I'm sorry.
Lenora, Ben, and me, we did not do.
30
day
Okay,
limit.
great.
Oh, and we first certificate of occupancy, Perry Gershon.
No, we're going back to before the
Yeah,
certificate of
okay.
occupancy.
I was doing the other because Betsy was out of the room.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
What'd you do?
I didn't.
We tried to do the one you're going to recuse yourself from. while
That's
you were-
correct, and
you
she
had
was out of the
really-
room. so-
No, but now you're back.
Okay, we're back.
All right, so for Leora Ben-Ami, tax map number 300-23-1-27. Peter.
This is an application to do a driveway gate, which seems to be the latest design.
Certainly is.
Right. Solid bottom, clear top, 6-foot posts, right, 4 feet solid bottom, 2 feet above that. I think everything is okay, except what's not clear on this, right, is on the survey, where I assume again that this is an automatic gate and that there is a keypad of some kind. They've located the gate, right, on the property line. Right, I went out there
But
and
can you
I did
assume that it's gonna be an
measure.
automatic gate though, Peter?
Pardon me?
Can you assume that it's gonna be an automatic gate?
Typically, a gate like this is heavy enough, right,
That it
that,
doesn't open, it wouldn't be a free,
well,
entry.
and you have to get out of your car.
no, what about
Open
the
it.
ones that move, like their sensor?
Yeah, they could be a sensor.
That's what I'm saying,
right?
so
So
how do-
my only question on this
What?
is there a keypad?
What we could do,
And
if
if so, where is it?
you did want to approve it, you could just put in the approval that any keypad must be located on the property, on the applicant's property, and then when they come back for their CO, we would be able to
Right,
catch
this
it
way you
again
can
at that
approve
point.
the gate and the posts.
Right.
Right.
That's one option.
Okay,
you have
I'd like to
outstanding
make a
questions.
motion that we approve this as submitted with the caveat that the keypad be located on their property.
We have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Julie Strong's folks, you said, right?
Okay, so then we'll go to Perry Gershon.
Okay, Perry Gershon,
Hold it.
this
Tax
is
map number 300-72-1-6.5. Diane.
yes, this is, This is, the resolution is dated 2005. And it was for, and then it was for an existing concrete wall situate 20 Mile Harbor Road, East Hampton. It's a 5-acre, very hilly, very dramatic property. And this concrete wall encloses the tennis court.
How tall is it?
It's tall. I don't know how tall it is. No, it's very tall.
The concrete wall.
It's tall. It's very tall. I couldn't reach to tell you how tall
Oh,
it
really?
is.
So it was like more like
Oh, it's
7
tall,
feet?
tall.
Like
It's
9,
maybe
10 feet?
12 feet.
What's the
10
date
or
of that
12
survey?
feet. The survey is brand new. When they sent in an application a few months ago, it was a 1999 survey, but this one is dated January 10th of this year. And this is the situation of the property. And, I mean, it is what it is. It's very...
Was the resolution to approve this
The
very
resolution-
tall cement wall?
The resolution is for an existing concrete wall. It does not have
The
any
height,
dimensions. It was existing then, and it is still existing now, 14 years later.
Okay, well, there are some problems here. I mean, first of all, the town of East Hampton is gonna not wanna, they're not gonna be happy when they see that the deer fence that Mr. Gershon has is on their property. Secondly, they're not gonna be happy when they see that the deer fence also goes onto the scenic easement. Thirdly, this deer fence encircles the property completely, and without knowing the heights of it, which it doesn't indicate on the survey, it's hard to say. But there's a lot of fencing here. So
It's a lot of everything.
if our town attorney would like to take a look at this, you'll see that you own a deer fence.
What's the resolution also? I wonder if the resolution cites a survey, and maybe the old survey has the height of that wall, but it doesn't.
This is all I
Yeah.
got of this go-round. And I had been out to see it, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago when the application first came in. And I took pictures then, but I don't have them, I mean, they're not here any longer. So that's all I have.
Yeah.
Is the new survey and that. So, I mean, the property is so complicated that I almost didn't know where to begin, and the wall was so
Big.
enormous.
So,
Did you take a picture of it?
I did take pictures when I went there the last time, and I guess it was in October.
Yeah, so it's
November.
not in your file.
well, they do have approval. Unfortunately, the way that this resolution was drafted, it doesn't have the heights. But we may have, to get to the bottom of this, we have to do some more digging. We're gonna have to try and pull up the old file. We can cross-reference it with any building department materials, because sometimes they have aerials and notations,
It
so,
would be great, because you're gonna need to be able to identify the fence, because it is on the scenic easement and it is on the town of East Hampton property.
right, that's gonna be another problem.
So,
So
We're gonna table it.
we're gonna have to
I
table
don't
it.
see it in the scenic easement.
In the back there? Yeah,
I see it here.
it's marked scenic easement, over there. Over on your left side, right there. Okay,
Yeah, but no, the fence is this.
yes,
isn't
but
it?
isn't that the part of the scenic easement, or is that scenic
No, I
easement
think the
finished down
scenic
there?
easement is there.
That is probably the scenic easement boundary line, with that
Right here.
dotted line.
So, but this is the problem here,
Yeah,
that this is not their property.
what's the black line?
Black line,
this line, edge
Yeah.
of clearing.
edge of clearing.
I wonder why they are showing that on this lot also.
Well, they probably cleared more than, well, it's not, we're not gonna get a C of O on this.
No, no.
All right, until
Not yet, let's.
Do I need to leave?
this is clarified.
No. Okay, so we're gonna table this.
Yep.
I didn't think that was.
Where's the wall?
Rock.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
massive.
Moving right along.
Yep.
Can I give this to Brittany?
Yeah.
Did we do Honest Diner?
We're about to.
Oh,
I
great.
was in the process of. Tax map number 300-170-4-22.1. This is on 74 Montauk Highway, the Honest Diner. The application read in 2017 on the east-facing side of the building, taking out windows and replacing with, did you read his writing?
No, excuse me.
Yes.
Is she supposed to recuse herself?
She's recused. Does she have to leave? You have to leave. Goodbye.
I asked, she said no.
Yes, correct.
Get out of here.
Do you want
It's
me
a
to
C of O.
interpret that?
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, do you
Just,
want
we
me
don't
to-
want to discuss it at all in front of
Do you
you.
want me to
She'll have to
interpret
watch
the
it on
writing?
TV later.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Just come back to us.
Oh, lift, got it.
Hey, where are you
Okay.
going?
With lift and slide doors. Okay.
What's it to you?
We need a quorum. I just wanted to make sure you weren't leaving.
This is the building as it exists today. I now have an updated survey as of last month showing the property exactly as it is versus the 1993 survey that I had. This is the presentation from 2017 showing the building as it was. And it's a bit difficult to see from my pictures because they came out small, but everything that has been done in accordance, and what has been demolished, so I would recommend to staff that this be sent to the building department for a certificate of occupancy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Betsy, come back.
Okay, this one's done.
Thank you.
I know this.
Yes, I'm dying.
Was that, Frederick Lease, the solar people, was when
Yeah.
I left, was that approved?
Yes.
You been to that one?
I'll share that with you afterward. Give this back to you. For Manor House Affordable Housing Project, tax map number 300-162-5-22, Peter.
Manor House housing, affordable housing on Accabonac Highway has been built as per the resolution, as per the previously approved documents. This project is ready for a C of O, and we should advise the staff to contact them.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For 3 Calf Creek LLC, tax map number 300-152-2-15.21. Second one.
Oh, this
I don't
is the
have
one,
that.
this is the one I was in touch with you about that we approved on November 11th, 2018.
Correct.
The application was approved on August 9th, and the C of O was okayed on October 11th.
Okay?
It's not on my agenda either. So it shouldn't, is it mistakenly on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Take it off.
So it's off.
Just take it off. For Robert Lubin, tax map number 300-92-3-29, Diane.
Yes, this is for a metal frame gate containing wooden slats no greater than 5 feet. No lighting, there's no lighting, and deer fencing to be no greater than 8 feet. I could not get in this property, but from what I could see and ascertain from all vantage points, it appears to be in compliance. So I would suggest that we contact the building department and issue a certificate of occupancy.
I'll second that. Moving right along, all approved? Okay.
Aye.
Okay. All right. For William J. and Mary A. Mott, tax map number 300-157-3-1.2, Diane.
Yes, the Motts. This is a finished house that everything about it complies with the resolution, except that the resolution called for this front porch to be all brick, but in fact it has a bluestone floor. And it calls for the garage doors to be solid, and in fact they have these decorative windows. And I was in the office and I believe that the applicants wrote a letter that detailed these changes, but it's not, I don't have it.
I have it.
You have it?
I have one copy. Basically, once Diane did her inspection, she indicated these potential issues to the applicant, so they came back.
They were
to-
home.
Right.
and I talked
So they
with them.
came to the desk and put in a cover letter for a modification. So if you are all okay with the change, they would like to have it be modified.
Okay, let's read the modification into the record.
Sure.
Okay, the garage door is for a 2-door access instead of 1, and there are small windows on the top that match our home windows. This garage doors are made out of steel and not vinyl, and again in the color white to match the windows and the trim. The front porch is brick facing out and has bluestone on the top. And everything seems to be in compliance with these modifications, and I recommend that staff notify the building department that it's ready for
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can you make a motion to approve the
The
modification?
modification, that's a
modification.
very good point. So make a motion to approve the modification that amends
Approve the
their
modification that
application.
amends the
Original resolution.
original resolution.
Right.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For Joseph Eisler, tax map number 300-80-7-18, Peter.
This project is not ready for a C of O, all right? I could not find a survey in the file. The posts on either side of the gate are at, excuse me, 6'8", and the fencing beyond the gate and the wall is at 8 feet. I also believe that the original resolution asked for some landscaping, which has not been installed.
For Richard and Beth Marshall, tax map number 300-165-5-4.5. This is for 9 Laura's Lane. This is an existing metal driveway gate that was 5'9" in height and 13 feet wide, and does not include any lighting. This is a decorative gate that is up and been reconstructed and reconfigured, and it is ready to send to staff to be able to have a building department issue a certificate of occupancy. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, give you that. Port Royal, I guess is the last one? No, that was
Yes.
done too. That was
No.
Port Royal?
No, we did Port
We
Royal.
did that.
We did that.
Okay.
So
Tabled?
Christian Nagel is the
We
last
did
one.
that too. Oh, no, I haven't
no.
done that. Okay. Oh, that should have been done at the same time.
I
Okay.
Yeah, we should have done that when Katie was here.
We didn't,
That
did,
is
we did, we
for-
did.
I think we did.
I think we
Did.
did too, Betsy.
Yes, when
I
she
really did.
presented it,
I thought that I had
we
done
also
that.
made the motion.
Yep.
Yes.
And do we approve it?
Yep.
Yes. Nagel
We
was,
moved it right through.
Right, okay, I'm sorry.
Resolutions.
Okay.
For Anthony and Teresa Passaretti of 15 Old Hollow Lane, tax map number 300-73-3-11.12. For 8 Gar LLC, care of Green Logic LLC, 97 North Sea Road, that's not correct. 6-8 Association Road, Wayne-Scott, tax map number 300-200-3-28. For New Singular Wireless, PCS, care of Victoria Brennan, Shore to Shore Wireless, tax map number 300-15-1-9, Montauk Historic Society, 2000 Montauk Highway in Montauk. For John Jacomaiewicz, 24 Farm Lane, tax map number 300-166-8-6.
Don't close it.
Paul Field at 36 Toey Trail, tax map number 300-182-1-2.25. For Linda McLaughlin, care of Edward Nowaski, at 275 Kings Point Road in East Hampton, tax map number 300-24-1-22. For Lila
Why
Staub,
is all this,
what do you got?
it's something, it's like a C of O we already signed, a no, it's the resolution to it.
Yeah, just
That
add
was
that
the
to it.
modification.
But are they usually attached?
No.
Not when you guys sign it, but after the fact.
Okay.
This is at 87 Woodbine Drive in East
So if
Hampton,
you
tax
can
map number
Diane, can you attach that all when you sign it?
300-78-1-7. This is a resolution granting an extension of time for Douglas Hallett, 28 Sycamore Drive, tax map number 300-39-13-53.2.
You, that's fine. It's all right. Okay.
I sent you guys an email about that.
Yes.
I just, you probably
I didn't see
didn't
it.
get it with the
I
survey.
was in hair and makeup.
I thought it had something to do with campings. That's what I heard.
Cameras are rolling.
No, and I
Or
didn't say no, I said
Here's the red. Why is that?
I quit.
I have no idea what time
10. 10 to
Quarter
10.
to 10.
10 to 10.
Oh, we're gonna have an unhappy.
Would anybody like to make a motion to close the meeting?
I would.
Wonderful, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you, everybody.